This is men only panel today. Men only. Last week it was women only on the panel. And this week it is men only on the panel. The funny thing is a couple of guys last week, well, not even a couple, it was like, why are men not allowed on the panel? Well, guys, for some reason, you find it very difficult for women to just be speaking. So now this is your turn. This platform is specifically for you. However, of course, there is going to be a theme, and this is what needs to be discussed. So, men only panel, let's see what you can do. The topic today is men are dangerous. Men are insecure. Men are emotionally weak. Men aren't leaders. Men are scared of women. Men have stopped evolving. Men talk and don't listen. And you men can come up on the panel and prove me right or prove me wrong. Do you think that I'm right in what I have to say, or do you think I'm wrong? In your conversations and if you're in your everyday life, men, have you found these comments to be true, or have you found them to be false? Are you as a man able to reflect upon your own behavior, or are you looking upon the behavior of your fellow man with criticism? Or are you saying, do you know what? Your behavior is fine. It's not my problem. So what are men thinking about other men? That is what I want to know. I want to know what men see in other men, because women, we talk about men a lot, and we're very honest with you about how we see you. So Crazy Steve is already saying women are narcissists deep within and can't stand success of men. Crazy Steve, if you are brave enough and you're not scared of women, why don't you come up on the panel and discuss your thoughts with me and why you feel that way? Like, where did you get this idea that women are narcissists and we can't stand the success of men? Come up here and discuss this with me, Crazy Steve. I'm going to send you an invite and see if you want to actually explain this a little bit more, if you are able to do so. Lavinia says, men live to submit to other men. Simplicity, good to see you. All true, those applies to many men, not all men. Interesting thoughts. So Steve, you've been invited to come up and actually have a conversation about this if you are brave enough. And as I said, if you're not scared of women. Or Steve, are you a man who just leaves a comment in a comment section and then runs away and doesn't have anything more to add? Which one are you, Steve? So again, I will say, men are dangerous, men are insecure, men are emotionally weak, men aren't leaders, men are scared of women, men have stopped evolving, men talk and don't listen. So already we have seen Steve so far actually show that he's quite insecure, I think, in his beliefs. And Steve says, in older relations and not brave, still here. I don't understand what you're saying there. What do you mean by in older relations and not brave? I don't understand the sentence. So what is the reason you won't come onto the panel and discuss this, Steve, in more depth? What is the reason? Because you've made your opinions very clear, like straight away, instead of you addressing what men are like, you've just immediately gone and talked about women. So, Steve, what is the reason you feel so upset by these prompts that you had to just go the other way and talk about women? Like, why? Why, Steve? Let's hear a little bit more from you. And any other men, again, this is your panel, men. You are more than welcome to come up here and discuss things with me, disagree, agree, share your experiences, what it's like to be a man in the patriarchy. And again, this is all about men and what you have observed from humanity. Thank you for the gifts as well. Good to see you, Kitty. Good to see you, Claudine. Thank you for being here. Yes, let's see. Crazy Steve is still talking about things in the chat and not actually willing to come up and to discuss this with me, actually. Hello there. This is a men-only panel today. Can you identify which gender you identify with?
I'm a trans man. And I'd like to debate.
Huh?
I'm a trans man and I'd like to debate if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine, yes. What would you like to add to the conversation today?
When you say men are dangerous, are you meaning the majority or all men?
Does that say all men on there?
Well, you've only put men are dangerous, so I'm just trying to clarify what you mean by that.
Does it say all men, yes or no?
No.
There you go.
So you're saying the majority?
Yes.
Okay. Would you not say the same as women?
Why would I say that most women are dangerous? Why?
Because they commit crimes.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that most women are dangerous?
Because everybody is dangerous, not just men. And you've only put men are dangerous, you haven't added everyone else.
Explain why you think women are dangerous. In comparison to men, what do you think that women are doing?
I think men are definitely worse, but I also think that women still do commit crimes. I know men commit more.
What are women doing to you actively to this day that makes you feel so scared that you can't walk out of your front door without feeling that you might get harmed by women? Oh, also, how old are you, please? Can you tell us your age?
I'm 19.
You're 19. Okay, so give us this experience that you've had in your 19 years as to why you think that women are equally as dangerous as men.
What
Things have happened?
I didn't say equally, I will explain what's happened, but women are dangerous, men are more dangerous, but women are still dangerous.
So why is it okay? So let's kind of diverge from this conversation, right? Because what I don't want to do is actually bring women into the conversation, because we've already got one guy down there talking about women. This is a conversation, right? Can you read all of the prompts on the screen there? Can you read all of them and discuss one of them?
You have just asked me about women.
I've just said that I don't want to actually talk about that now, so we're actually going to go back to the subject here.
Okay, no worries.
Can you read all of them there? And then if you want to discuss one of them directly.
Okay, yeah. So you say men are scared of women, but you also say men are dangerous. Now, most crimes are men towards women, okay, from what I've seen. And if men are so scared of women, then why do they attack women? And why are women so scared of men if men do most of the stuff to the women?
Okay, so as it also says there is that men are heavily insecure. And yes, exactly. Lavinia says people lash out when they are scared. And that is exactly what happens.
Okay, I don't understand how you would just know that. Like, do you assume? Have you done research? Like,
I'm a woman. That is my research.
I'm a man, and I'm going to say no to that. So now we've got a logical fallacy. I'm just pointing that out there. It's a bad logic.
So are you able, both of you on the panel, are you able to actually look at a global or group situation, or are you too individualistic where you're looking at yourselves and not actually facts and statistics?
You just used an individual experience. So again, twice in the space of 2 minutes.
And I can also bring up the global experience. So the question is that men are dangerous, but can any of you lot here have the conversation without bringing women into it? Is it possible? Yes or no?
No, because
I'm just asking the question, is it possible that you can actually stick to this? Or if you want to bring
you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah, she is, isn't it?
You're saying men are dangerous, and then you're saying they're scared of women. You're not. I don't like.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Again, I will explain it. And it was actually said very quickly. Men, in their fear, lash out in fear. This is very common knowledge.
And you know that how?
Because there are studies, there are countless, there is centuries of history to show this. And even more so now in 2026, where women are more confident than ever, they're more secure in themselves. They're doing more things. The thing is, what we don't do here is we don't be, so I've disconnected you, and good thing you disconnected yourself there, because we don't be disrespectful up here. If you're unable to have an intelligent adult conversation, then you're not welcome here. So again, when we talk about women and we talk about our personal experiences, again, there are case studies and history that shows this. This is common knowledge. And it is very frustrating that in 2026, that common knowledge seems to be challenged by the insecure person. That is very, 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 very annoying and frustrating. So, Dot, full stop, you wanted to add some things you want to challenge because you don't agree.
Yeah, I'd say humans are dangerous. Well, I'd say everything's dangerous, even that if it's water you're drinking.
Deflecting from the topic, because otherwise it would say like this is a scary world to live in. There's threats everywhere, but the particular topic here is men. So what can you talk about?
I'm disputing the topic that you brought up.
Well,
I'm
why would you
saying
do
that
that?
everything's
The topic is
dangerous.
men, but
Have
you
you?
are that's deflection. That
Will
is
you?
deflection.
No, it's so if I say the grass is blue and you say no, it's not, you've deflected, have you?
Well, is the topic about grass or is it about men?
No, you're not answering because you know that it proves
The
your logic
question
wrong. Let's
is,
not do this.
men are dangerous.
If I
The
say the
question is,
grass is
men
blue and you
are
say no,
dangerous. So all you need to say is, are men dangerous? Yes or no? I'm making it very simple for you.
yes, everything
Are
is
men?
dangerous. Water is
No, you're
dangerous.
deflecting. You are deflecting, sir.
It's not.
You are
It's not. It's
deflecting.
not. You
Can
put me in a
somebody
box.
explain to this guy what deflection is? Like, he doesn't understand what deflection is.
You're
Like,
putting
really,
me in
you
a
are
box.
deflecting.
You're giving
Men
me
are
this
dangerous,
box.
yes or no?
Everything's dangerous. Yes, everything.
Deflection,
Yes,
deflection,
everything. It's
deflection.
not.
Do
I'm
you know
saying
what?
yes.
Okay,
Everything
so
is.
let me explain what deflection is.
I don't
Do you know
need
what
it.
deflection is? Do you know what deflection is?
Can you not womansplain to me? I don't want to be
Not women's
womansplained
sake.
to.
Well, then you explain to me what deflection is. Then
I don't
you
want to. No, you're
mansplain.
deflecting. I'm just going to use your logic because you don't back your own logic. You're deflecting from my deflection. So we'll go down this. You see how silly it gets.
It makes sense.
Let's not do this because it gets really silly. I just use your logic and it
very
gets silly.
clear. In very clear English,
So-
men are dangerous. This guy said plants are dangerous, women
They
are
are,
dangerous. That is the
correct.
definition
Water. I
of
said water as well.
deflection. Very definition of deflection. And again, I asked him very clearly.
It's not a
can you-
deflection. It's a further add-on to the statement that you have made.
Okay, then go to the next one then. So men are
You don't like your logic, do you? But you're using it. I don't understand it.
Of course,
I
you
feel
wouldn't
like everyone
understand
does
it, 'cause
this.
I feel like you're quite young, and actually, conversation is quite difficult for you to grasp. So, men
Yeah,
are
I don't
insecure.
understand it.
Do you agree that men are insecure? Yes or no?
Yeah, but I think that's again universal. I think women can be insecure.
Deflection again. Men are emotionally weak. Yes
How
or
is
no?
that a deflection?
Yeah, men are
Oh,
emotionally
women.
weak. Yes
No,
or
no,
no?
no. Sorry. Just one question. I'll answer all of them truthfully.
No,
Just
no,
one
I'm
question.
asking you the questions. It is
Oh,
my
you
panel
don't.
here.
You don't
It
want
is
me
my
to
panel
ask
here.
if women
You
can
are
be
a man
insecure.
and you are unable to answer questions. This actually shows, and again, they're
Neither
saying
are
this
you.
to you in the comment section, that you are immature to try
I
and
don't
wind
care
people up.
about
This
no
is a
comment
very simple
section.
conversation. If you're emotionally intelligent and able, you can answer the questions without deflection, but you
The
are proving that you're
disingenuous,
unable
the
to do that.
disingenuous
So,
questions.
men are emotionally weak, yes or no?
Universal between both genders.
Okay, cool. Next question. Men aren't leaders, yes or no?
Yes and no, because some are, some aren't. Again, the very disingenuous questions you're
Okay,
asking.
next question. Men are scared of women, yes or no?
Oh, I'd say some are, some aren't.
Again. So you're being very, very, very
No, you
middle
want
of the
me to go
road.
down this box. You want me to stay in this box and either go yes or no, but you're making generalisations.
stopped evolving. Men have stopped evolving, yes or no?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's basic biology.
Okay, so you agree with that one. Next one. Men talk and don't listen, yes or no?
Oh, some. They're probably in the comments saying I'm one of them. So I'll go
they
yeah
are
on that
saying
one.
that most definitely. Okay, AJ, we're going to bring you in as well and see what you have to say about your gender.
AJ, watch out. They're all disingenuous questions.
How are you? How are you, AJ?
Firstly, my queen, our beautiful African queen, as always, you are looking splendid.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Queen Fox. How are you, my sweet dear?
I'm good. I'm good. It's always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to see you out and about on the land of TikTok, on your panels. It's a joy to come and see you, speak to you, and it's always a pleasure to have you here too. So, yes, what do you want to add to the conversation today, AJ?
I would like to firstly say, unfortunately, as men, we have failed. We had failed to provide safety. We have failed to get our emotions in check with our securities and insecurities. So going through them all, are men dangerous? We've seen, look, end of the day, we've seen the issues that men cause, whether it's social, whether it's political, international. We've seen that men have been the downfall of mankind. It was men that went to Africa and Asia and brought the women with them. It was the men that decided, let's do these things. So yes, men are dangerous, and until us as men take accountability for our actions as a whole gender, not just our individuals, we're always going to be dangerous to each other and to others, which is, again, no pun intended, very dangerous. Insecure. Yeah, I think men suffer a higher level of insecurity than women because remember, our existence is based on acceptance, which is all governed around our ego. So, yes, you know, we are very sensitive about the things that we are insecure about. Could we kind of masquerade them things as being masculine to want it a particular way, which is then we see that in our insecurities, how we overcompensate for certain things to kind of balance out the insecurities that we have. So I would agree that men do suffer from insecurities differently because of ego and, you know, how society sees men and should see men. It gets missed into our securities and our insecurities. Men emotionally weak.
Just to interject, because you're saying things that are very resonant to me. I understand what you're saying. A lot of people in the chat are understanding what you're saying. I'm just going to bring Dot in because, of course, I think he struggled quite heavily. Is there anything there that AJ said that you understand, Dot?
Yeah, understand, disagree. Understand but disagree.
How do you understand and disagree? How is that possible?
Right, well, if you tell me the grass is blue, I understand that you said the grass is blue, but I disagree. No, you're not. You won't allow the analogy because it disproves your logic. The analogies, I'm using your logic.
Okay,
People on lives do this all the time. You don't back your own logic.
Repeat one thing that AJ just said. Just one. Repeat one thing that AJ said.
No, I'm not a dog, so don't treat me like a dog.
One thing.
You said you were a dog. If you were listening correctly to what AJ was saying, you would be able to repeat something that you heard because you said you agree with something.
I zoned out.
What did you agree with?
I zoned out.
Okay. So it's an absolute waste of time for you being here. So well done for representing that absolutely correctly. You've been dropped from the panel. Thank you, AJ. Do you want to continue on?
Yeah, I do apologize. Yeah, so emotionally weak. I think it's different. It's difficult for men.
He did say he understands, not he doesn't agree.
Hello.
No, but he didn't understand because he didn't repeat anything that he actually understood. When you haven't understood something, you're able to paraphrase the conversation to show that you actually have understanding. He was unable to do that. He's only 19 years old, so I feel like this conversation is a bit above his station.
And plus, if I was speaking, I'm not sure why you interrupted.
Yeah, carry on, AJ.
So let's get some composed control, man. Come on, let's sort it out, man. Early in the day. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Carry on, AJ.
I think it's difficult for men to be emotionally vulnerable because, again, all wrapped up in the egotistical men don't cry nonsense. And I think that's what makes it us weak, because I always say that in your weakness, you'll find your strength. But there's an insecurity of accepting that it is okay for men not to be okay. It's okay to feel weak. Like it doesn't take from your masculinity to be in a weak, vulnerable, emotional state. The issue around being...
Can I pick up on that?
I haven't finished.
Just 1 minute for me to speak. He's not finished. But you see there's other people on the panel, so Loti is going to go after you, but keep that thought in your head, you to sleep, but please don't interrupt. Go on, AJ.
Yeah, so and I think that's where it's governed around this whole notion of it's almost like the embarrassment of being seen as weak, then that forces you not to address your emotional concerns, which is giving you a sense of weakness. And so yeah, I would say that there's an element of emotional weakness. And an ability to...
We're just going to bring in Loti, because you've discussed the first three, so thank you so much for your input. Loti, we're going to get you in as well, and you can also share your thoughts on a few of the prompts. And then eventually, of course, this is going to be a back and forth, but I want to make sure that everybody has their voices heard. Loti, what do you want to add to the conversation? Which of these prompts do you agree with, disagree with? What do you want to add?
I agree. I disagree with every single one of them.
Explain why.
Okay, so if men are weak and not leaders, who built the infrastructure you're standing on right now?
You know that you can
If
lead in many
you,
different ways. If you're looking
well,
at men
can I just finish with all the questions?
No, because you're talking about, you've said men aren't leaders, but you're saying that men are a leader in what, building a house?
Can I finish with all the questions on the prompt?
No,
Then maybe we can address
no,
it.
because
Okay.
I am the host. I also can interrupt you. You're saying that men are a leader because they can build a house or buildings. That makes them a leader. Do you have any other definitions of what a leader is?
Sure. I can give you a definition of what a leader is. Let me think about that one for a little bit.
Mary, we can hear you
Well,
typing. We can hear you
The
typing.
IQ level around here is weird.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
IQ
Danny
level
says, I can't
yeah,
build a
around
house.
here.
What does that mean?
Why
So Loti, another person in the chat, a man, Danny, has said, I can't build a house. Does that mean I can't lead? Whereas
well, I
I can
mean,
pay a
you,
patio, I can
you
fix my
want me to,
toilet. Does that make me more
do
of
you
a
want me
leader
to
than
answer your
Danny?
question? Do you want me to answer your question, or do I have to answer someone else that's interrupting?
There's two questions now you want to ask. So the one is,
Well,
what
I'm
makes
gonna
a leader?
answer your question. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, of course it is. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So, you just because men can build houses doesn't mean that. Okay, cool. Well, that's a straw man. Straw man. Okay. No serious person says leader equals a guy with a hammer. Okay, that's just them shrinking you're just shrinking the argument to make it look dumb.
Who brought
But
up infrastructure
leadership,
building? Was that me or
leadership.
you?
Can I finish?
That was you.
Can I finish?
I don't think you heard
Leadership
what you
isn't.
said.
Well, your
Leadership is
IQ,
not about.
your
Leadership
IQ
is
is
not.
screaming out right now.
Leadership is not about bricks. It's about responsibility. Okay, building a house doesn't make you a leader. Taking responsibility for your family inside that house does. A builder isn't automatically a leader, but the willingness to carry the weight is the leadership trait.
Well,
Okay,
that's
a leader,
that's important.
leadership. You keep interrupting. I mean, these women
Oh,
keep talking about emotional intelligence. Maybe you should have some.
I
Just
have
carry
none.
on, Loti. Just carry on. I'm the one
Stop
hosting the panel
interrupting
here.
them.
Carry on,
So
Loti.
leadership isn't a skill, it's decision making under pressure. Okay, if leadership was just building things, engineers would rule the world. Okay, and a leadership, a leadership isn't one who builds the roof. He is the one who decides where the house gets built.
Again, we're just talking about things in the way of infrastructure and actual physical things. So, do you know what the patriarchy is, Loti?
Too many big words there.
Do you know what the patriarchy is, Loti?
Are you gonna let me? Is this
It's a
the guy
yes or
gonna
no
keep
question.
interrupting?
Do you know what the patriarchy is? Yes or
So
no?
you've now moved from building houses doesn't make them men leaders to.
No.
So do I
Answer
even know what patriarchy
Men
is? You're just
find it
that's you're.
very hard to answer direct questions.
I mean, I'm very good at
Do you
debating.
know,
You're just shift
Loti,
framed.
You're not
Loti,
very
do
good
you
at
know what the
Okay.
patriarchy is? Yes or no?
Right
I've
now,
said
you are trying to move from infrastructure to ideology.
slowly.
Okay, okay,
Do
let's handle
you
it
know?
clean. Okay. Yes, patriarchy means a system where men hold primary authority and leadership, governance. It's that is is that the definition you're looking for?
Yes,
Because
thank you so much. I
before
can't
we
believe.
argue
Why
about
was that?
patriarchy, how about we define it properly?
Loti, why was it so difficult for you to answer that simple question? Because you answered it. Why was
Well,
it so?
because you just shift the frame. You
No,
just shift.
I
You
asked
move
a
from
direct
you
question.
move from infrastructure to ideology. You see, I'm very good at debating. I know these things.
Loti,
Okay.
it's part of the same thing, Loti.
Oh,
We're
really?
talking about
Infrastructure
building
and ideology is part of the same
infrastructure.
thing.
It's
Infrastructure and
part.
ideology is part of the same thing. Okay,
Yes.
interesting.
Can I ask you a
Yes.
question?
This is
sir?
TikTok for you
Men
right here.
created the
Okay,
system
what
which
other
you
question?
correctly
What's your next
identified.
question?
Loti, you've correctly identified what the patriarchy is, built by men. So under that system is where men have been able to build. Men have actually, of course, made subjects of women. They have raped them, murdered them, taken away their money, given them no rights whatsoever, and called themselves leaders. And that's why you think they are leaders, because you, again, all you brought up was physical things. You were saying in a house,
Sorry, can you repeat what you just said?
leader.
Because the sound just went away from me. Can you just repeat that, please?
No, I can't repeat it. I'm not going to repeat it. We're going to move on to beauty. Beauty's got
You're
something
so
to
scared of an
say.
actual intellectual. You are scared
You're
of
not
an actual
intellectual.
intellectual.
You just think
Go
you
on,
sound
move me away.
intelligent,
This
but
is
you're
the
not.
typical TikTok. Typical TikTok. I'm surprised you're not muting me. You're
No,
running
we,
scared. Come
no,
on,
we
face
want you to
me.
Beauty,
You're
hear
running
you
beauty, you're the next
sound.
scared.
person to add yourself in the
Running scared.
conversation.
Then
Yeah,
go
that's
on. Go
what.
ahead. Go ahead. Face me. Ask me
Okay.
Ask me your
So
questions.
what do
Let's
You've
see
been
you
what you
asked
can
to,
feel men
do.
being
Beauty, you're
dangerous?
there on the panel. You've been asked to mute. You want to add yourself to the conversation, Beauty? Yeah, that's it. Beauty Sleep. How are you today?
In fact, give me this little minion, this guy underneath me. Let me
Loti, are
finish.
you able to actually just pause yourself for a minute because somebody else has been asked to
No,
talk?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
That's
good.
fine.
Bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
Felicia.
Beauty Sleep, what would you like to
Your
add to the
intellect is
conversation?
Bye,
inferior to
Felicia.
me.
You said you
You're
were going.
inferior.
You said you were going.
Earlier.
So isn't it funny? What does that
Mouse.
one
You
say?
said you were
Men are
going.
You're a
emotionally
mouse.
weak. Does everybody agree that Loti is
Here
emotionally
we
weak?
go.
I've
Here
said
we
let's
go.
pause. I've said let's pause and let's go to the next person. You see, we've got other people on the panel waiting. I've just had a good conversation with Loti there. You see, he's unmuting himself
Look at your
many times.
millions. Of
Guys,
course, your millions will say yes.
which one of those prompts do you think that Loti is demonstrating right now? Which
Probably
one?
all of them.
Lo-
Probably all
Yes,
of them.
exactly. Probably all
Look
of
at the
them.
pan
Which one
run.
do you
Look at the
want?
pan.
Loti, the thing is, I have disconnected you because, again, we can't hear each other speak if everybody's speaking at one time. And yes, as a host, I do have the authority to speak over you when you are being incorrect. And I have the authority to challenge you. But when you are talking with other people, you have to be respectful to other people. And again, as I've just said about 5 times, it is time for Beauty Sleep to speak. So Beauty Sleep, you had another man there trying to speak over you. Make of that what you will. But Beauty Sleep, for the 6th time, what would you like to add to the conversation today?
That's right. I'm used to it. Men are like that all the time. I wanted to actually ask AJ a question regarding the fact that he was saying, "Oh, there you are, buddy."
Yeah, right. What's the question,
That
right?
it's okay for men to be emotional.
This is
So you agree with that statement, AJ? It's okay for men to be emotional.
that it's okay for men to be emotional.
So, out of the two sexes, which
hold
of the two sexes are typically more violent?
That's irrelevant. Men.
Men are typically more violent. So, would you not agree with me that emotional men are potentially a very dangerous thing?
If your emotions are not, if you're not handling your emotions correctly, yes, but that doesn't mean it's not a good thing to be. When I say it's not it's a good. Okay, not say a good thing. It's okay. It's okay not to be okay because everything isn't always rosy and dandy and pretty and nice. Sometimes things get hard. We lose things. We lose people. We change. Things around us change. What was normal yesterday is irregular tomorrow, and this affects our emotional state. And it's okay to say that I am emotionally affected by this. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from because obviously I understand that men do suffer in silence, but I would also push a lot of men to try and push for stoicism
That's not
rather
good.
than being too emotional.
That's not good.
Because, as I said, well, as we both agreed,
Do you think, sorry to
the
interrupt,
male
Beauty Sleep, but do you think that
sex
men need
is
to,
typically more violent.
But don't you think, Beauty Sleep, that men need to actually regulate their emotions first before they actually move to stoicism? Because you can't just make that leap without doing the work beforehand. And that is missing for the vast majority of men on this planet. It is missing.
Well, typically, one way of men are stoic is because they suppress their emotions.
That's
No,
not
but
good.
that's not the
That's one of the
definition of what
reasons.
stoicism is. That's not the definition of what stoicism is. Like, Stoicism really does put you in a selfless position where you still are able to be emotionally empathetic towards other people, and mainly, of course, women. And if you're not actually at that point yet, you can't be completely stoic. You just can't.
You need to have emotional regulation. You need to be able to regulate your emotions. You need to be able to process your emotions, understand your emotions, to work out how to get through this emotional state. And it's
Okay, out
okay
of
to
the
do
two
that.
sexes, which of the two sexes are better at regulating their
We're not
emotions?
talking about two sexes, we're talking about men.
Yeah, I know, and we got to talk about averages. So
No,
on average, out of the two sexes,
no. Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. We don't, because this is about men. This isn't about men versus women. This isn't about who and are men like this because of women. What can women do? How have women not helped men? Why men are not? There's nothing to do with women. This is all because if you pay attention to Miss Fox the other day, she ran a live similar like this, but it was just about women. So that time we got to talk about women. Now, just talking about men. We're not talking about women. So this isn't about who's the higher percentage out of the genders, because this isn't a gender battle. This is about men. Can we not
this is
do
an
that?
agenda battle, but it's a battle of characteristics. So
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. This isn't about characteristics. This is about men.
well, humans are
No, hello.
animals,
This
a
isn't
type of
about.
animal species.
No. You're missing it. You're missing it, my brother. You're missing it. From a man, hear what I'm saying. This isn't about anything else. This isn't about. This isn't about. This is about men. It's not about anything else. This isn't about the effect that women have had on men. This isn't even about the effect that men have had on women as such. This is just about men.
So are we going to completely skip over typical characteristics of our species?
If we're gonna refer to it as other men and see if these characteristics are gender, based on ethnicity, based on culture, based on age, but then yes,
As we do throughout the entire animal kingdom.
But if we're going to have the conversation about characteristics next to women's characteristics, then no. But if we're going to do it across men, so we're going to do it based on what football team they support, what culture they come from, what chip shop they use at the weekend, whether they like a curry or a boaty, if we're going to do that about which different type of men like a boaty, a chicken curry, casala, whatever you like to call it, then we're doing that. If we're going to do that next to do women like flowers over chocolate on Valentine's Day, then no. This is about men.
So we can't talk about biology, even though
we can talk about biology,
biological
as it pertains to men only, as I said, how genetically men are different based on culture, based on ethnicity. We know that African bloodline and European bloodline in men aren't the same. Black men have the recessive gene, white folks have the non-recessive genes. Now, only men carry the recessive of non-recessive gene. So if we're going to talk about biology in pertaining to men singly, then yes. But if we're going to talk about women as well,
so are you guys going to talk about?
Well, you're going on a monologue a bit here, but obviously we was talking about emotions.
You're not paying attention to the simple part that I said. It's about men. It's about men.
1 minute, AJ. Beauty Sleep. AJ is explaining to you actually very clearly and concisely about what the topic is. And he's rightly picked up the fact that you and gentlemen before you have actually tried to deflect quite a lot from the topic by bringing in other humans. And we had the first guy who wanted to talk about plants, when the conversation clearly is about men and talking about men first and foremost. But we're going to bring in Nonsense. Thank you for that, AJ. Nonsense as well. What do you want to add to the conversation today, Nan?
I think it's very interesting how things are exactly as they are. I mean, we live in a society where men don't want to have conversations with their partners about their feelings, right? We live in a society where, forgive me for my language on this, men want the pom-pom so badly, we'll pretend to be a wholly different person to who we are. And if a man is truly secure in his own volitions, you don't really need to change the person you are. You will effectively, a lot of the time relationships tend to break down because as a brown dude, specifically as a Muslim brown dude, it can be quite concerning because we do talk about the patriarchy, how men are responsible. I agree, men are significantly responsible for the issues which we have in society with relations to women. But also, it frustrates me to death that women are also complicit in this as well. You know, the trad wife sort of stuff, even in the brown community, like women, yes, you know, within the fold of Islam, women.
I can hear 1 minute. Sorry, Narcissus. I can hear and AJ getting, but AJ, what Nan is actually saying. 1 minute, AJ. 1 minute. What Nan is actually saying is correct as well, because there are women who do uphold the patriarchy. So this is not saying that women are equal to this, and because that is true, that does exist, and that is something that we did talk about last week on the women's panel. It was literally about how there are so many women who are willing to sell out, and you know how you say like race traitor. We had gender traitors as well that do exist. That women don't realize their words also hurt other women so much so by upholding the patriarchy. So you are right.
In the Muslim community, there's this like new breed of like, this is what our religion is, and it's men saying that they want to work and provide for a family. Cool, fine. And it's women saying they don't want to work and they just want to be looked after. And the man wants a woman who just obeys what he says, and the woman wants to be a woman who obeys what he says, but she gets nice shiny handbags and nice cars and all these things. And they think that this is Islam. And I don't feel that's the case, because feminism in any scenario is the empowerment of a woman's choice. And if you are a woman who is putting yourself in a situation where you have validly taken away your choice, and then you're propagating to other women that this is a life to lead, it's massively concerning. It's concerning to say the most.
Yeah, it massively is. It really is. So to the prompts more directly, what experiences can you say that prove my prompts correct or wrong? And this time without adding women in the conversation.
Oh, boys are just mean. Boys are just mean. Like, we're raised to be mean, right? Speaking as a brown dude, I was not the homogenous kind of Pakistani kid. Like, I would call myself very unique. I was never afraid of people giving my opinions to people. But the vast majority of men around me, I always noticed, boys, to be more specific, would basically be like, oh yeah, I like that. Like, you would purposely try to fit in with what's considered to be the boys' club, or if you want to fit in with the dudes that, the specific circle, you're going to go ahead and talk about football and stuff like that. And it's like, if we as men were so secure about who we were, we wouldn't need to feel the need to treat people in such a way where we need to get that feeling of being accepted within a group, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw today on TikTok not the most craziest, there's many things crazy on on TikTok, but I saw this one girl who posted her, I think it was a Hinge conversation, where a guy had said to her, oh, I've seen your TikTok, I found you on TikTok. And she said, well, what do you think about it? And he was like, yeah, it's really interesting. But then the next day he messaged and said, yeah, so I had a word with the guys and the guys don't approve.
Yeah, see what?
So the conversation now is not going to continue. Oh, so you cared about
and women don't do that themselves, no?
No, we don't. We do share, but we don't.
Can I just add one thing?
As a woman, I am going to...
I think that was called popcorn and the kettle black then.
Listen, Beauty Sleep. What we do as women is we do show those messages but by that time, Beauty Sleep, we've already made our decision whether we like that person or not. The example I gave was that the guy liked her until he showed the guys and they were like,
so are you telling me typically women do not make decisions based on their friends?
No, we don't. We do not.
Yes, you do.
We don't.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
we
you
don't.
do.
As I've said, we've already made the decision. We've already made the decision whether we like that person or not. And you need to understand that in 2026, there are a lot of women who are actually on dating sites just to take the piss out of men, because we know that they're not up to standard. And so then we're like, hey, look at this guy I'm talking to. Isn't this
in all fairness, I think your generation really aren't up to standard.
What?
It's called home inflation.
There, huh?
But
men have got to work twice as hard for women that are half as valuable as your grandmothers.
Can I comment on that very specifically? Because I really do want to comment on that, because I look, I'm going to be very, very careful about my words
He
here.
wants
Okay,
somebody
Fox?
like his grandma. He wants to date his own grandma rather than actually a
Yeah,
woman
that-
of
that-
has
generation,
Fox,
yes.
he does have
your
some.
grandma
Yes.
was doing. So 1 minute, whatever
It's called
your
hoe
grandma.
inflation.
This is the thing about these
Or
men. They would
hostflation.
rather date their own family members than actually women who are more evolved in modern day
the
society.
integrity, the integrity and the
They want the old mindset where
The
women
integrity and the elegance of those
They
women.
were more in the patriarchy.
Is that
They
why-
were more actually.
Is
they
that
were
why you're
more
single?
in
Is that why you're
the
single?
patriarchy.
The integrity of those women
Do you
is
know
far
what,
better
guys?
than your
Let's talk
generation.
about some- 1 minute. I'm going to mute everybody a minute. I'm just going to
Why are you
mute
single?
everybody 1 minute.
Too much
1
over-talking.
minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. We're going to mute everybody. So, guys, everybody who was here last week on the women's panel was there. So you guys can say this. If you were here in the women's panel last week, was there over talking? Yes or no? Say this in the chat, please. When there was the women's panel last week, was there over talking? Yes or no? You were here, AJ was here, Tisha was here, Lavinia was here, Claudine was here, this is Beth is here, Naomi was here. No, no, no. So you see this, guys. Women were not doing this last week. And we did talk about some very serious stuff. We did get to have some heated conversations. And even other men here, thank you, that one gamer, most of it, but no, from what I saw. So this is, again, where it says here, men are emotionally weak, they tend to prove my point. And the funny thing is, I even asked ladies last week, I said, you don't have to mute yourself. Everybody go off mute and have a conversation. And there was still no over talking. I have to mute people on this panel right now only because they are over talking. I want everybody to talk. And I did think, oh, shall I just tell everybody to unmute? But I was like, nah, because men are dangerous and they're emotionally weak and they're insecure. They literally can't do it. So everybody in the panel and everybody in the chat really wants to hear what you all have to say.
But you're not letting anybody speak, though.
But you have to see,
Exactly.
But you're not letting anybody speak.
Can I make
Exactly.
can I make his argument just a little bit more eloquently? Can I have a moment just to make that argument with some eloquence? Okay. Yes, I see the point which you're raising, that what we define to be a man and what we define to be a woman, right? In my eyes, and I think we could all agree, in my eyes, a man is a bloke who supports his family, is righteous, does all the right things, doesn't abuse people, isn't a rude person, someone who you could think, okay, that's a great man. And to me, like a great woman is someone who's a fantastic mother, for example. And look, this isn't just women and men can be lots of different things, but in this situation, which people are talking about it is where my perspective comes as a brown Muslim guy. You have this generation of women who are like, we deserve more rights. But I'll be honest, they don't bring shit to the table, right? And this isn't a woman thing. This is just a people thing. Everyone seems to think that you're bringing something to the table, right? These women who think, oh, I just want to be looked after my husband's house. She's not a great mother. She doesn't know how to clean. She could barely cook. But that's what men want, right? And this is men making these terrible choices because they don't understand what a woman should be, right? A woman shouldn't be just someone who you order around and expect to keep your house slightly clean. No, a woman is, my wife is significantly more important than just cleaning the house. She's raising my child. And that to me is the biggest job in the world. Right? And that's what men and women should be looking at. This is a men and a woman thing. You guys want to find these random fucking people where they've got no values, they've got no fucking principles, and you marry them and you expect them to fucking change.
None. Isn't that the most important job in the world, though? Raising our next generation. So, in terms of that being the most important job in the world, then why do women themselves belittle other women that are stay-at-home mothers?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me speak? I just want to bring the conversation back to the topic, guys. So, because I feel like nonsense has actually gone off the topic a little bit of what you were trying to say.
Sorry, that's my bad.
So, yeah, it's okay. Thank you for that recognition. So, John Wick, we are going to bring you in now. So you can see the prompts on the screen there. Men are dangerous. Men are insecure. Men are emotionally weak. Men aren't leaders. Men are scared of women. Men have stopped evolving. Men talk and don't listen. Prove me right or wrong. Unfortunately, it has been proved that I'm right already. But let's see what else you've got to say, John.
Probably because you can't hold a man and you're taking that on us. and you're letting all your thoughts out, and that's how you're going on the attack.
Facts, mate.
Where
Thank
have
you.
I said?
Boom.
Where have I said my relationship status? Have I said?
I
my
don't want to be in
relationship-
panel with these guys. Goodbye.
Yeah, see you later. Thank you.
That's
where have
facts,
I said
mate.
my relationship status? Where did I say?
Handle the argument, right? They start chucking people out.
John Wick, direct question to you. Where have I said my relationship status?
Please, let's keep this parliamentary, please.
Where have I said my relationship status, John Wick?
Well, normally when a
Show
woman,
us your man in the next room,
Is
then.
it
But
is it
normally when
really?
it's-
Show us your man in the next room.
normally when a woman goes off, right, is because she can't, because she's being dumped or something like that. And that's what-
Literally, this is
Yeah, John, I'm wondering where a man is right now. Is
I know.
a man in the next room?
When
Well, a
I
man
said
probably went with a friend.
having a man's panel, for me, it was a risk because I didn't know if I want to lose some basic brain cells with these people.
John,
Yeah, a
Because
man
to be
probably
the
went with a
man
best
with a
friend.
best mate, that's more traditional, right?
Because to be honest, the people in the chat are not enjoying the conversation. And I did say, as I said, it's going to be a risk to having men up on the panel where they're actually able to have.
Did your man run up with your best mate?
You see, that's why she's meeting me, because she can't handle the truth.
Well, I think it was her best mate he went off
Boom.
with because
Boom squad.
she was more traditional.
Boom squad.
So again, I will ask you directly for the fourth time, John Wick, where have I said my relationship status?
Look, I know you love the John Wick movies, but come on, don't take your viciousness
I've
out on
never
me.
seen John Wick. For the fifth time, John Wick, where have I said my relationship status?
Listen, you can tell by
Maybe
your
John Wick
voice.
looks too much
You
like
can
a
tell by
fella,
your
John.
ambience.
For the
You can tell by your
sixth time,
ambience.
John Wick, where did I show my relationship status?
Because you're talking over me and you know you can't handle the truth.
Seventh time, John Wick, where have I showed my relationship status?
I've just told you and you're shutting me
For
down.
the eighth time, John Wick,
Whoa.
where did I show my relationship status?
No wonder her man
ex-fella
ran away.
looks like John
No
Wick.
wonder her man ran away.
John Wick, what you're doing is you're making assumptions. You're making assumptions. I've asked you a direct question. So the thing is, when you make assumptions about people, this is your own ego in function. Because you can actually just ask me if I'm in a relationship or not. Like, ask me directly.
My
Ask me
ego.
directly.
Oh my God, my ego. My God.
Ask me directly, John
There-
Wick.
there's no
Ask
way
me-
you're in a
ask me,
relationship.
John Wick, if I'm in a relationship, yes or no?
You can't. You
my-
can't be.
The
100%.
honestly, I can't believe this lady. Oh, I mean, I can't even call her. I don't even know if she's a lady or not. I mean, the way how she's acting.
What is wrong with you?
John, I think her ex looks like John Wick, and that's what it is.
What is wrong
Probably,
with
and she's
both of
jealous.
you?
She must be
Okay,
jealous.
So, John Wick, how old are you? Can you answer that direct question?
That's a bit personal.
Okay, Beauty Sleep, how old are you? Can you answer that question? Beauty Sleep, how old are you?
31.
31, okay. Map Society, we're going to bring you into the conversation as well. Like, I literally asked very simple questions like 10 times there.
Right,
Very
here's
difficult
what it is.
questions.
You're
The
getting
Map
triggered.
Society-
You've been schooled, right? You're getting
John
triggered and you've been schooled.
John Wick, I've said the Map Society is now coming in. John Wick, it's actually getting very frustrating because we're trying to have an adult conversation here. But the Map Society, for the third time, I'm going to ask you also to come into the conversation. Hello, the Map, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm not bad. So,
Is that to do with PDFs? Because I'm not talking with this guy. I'm not being on the panel with him.
Says them. Do you know what maps
MAP.
are?
MAP means minor attracted persons.
No, you dimwit.
What?
Maps, as in the ones you used to travel with.
Okay, well, fair enough then.
You see where these men's minds are.
They're not here.
It's literally pushed down our throats every day,
It's
host.
not.
You're aware of
It's
the
a map.
LGBTQIA
Like,
plus.
it's called Google Maps, a map that you actually, the atlas, things like that.
Yeah, and have you never heard of the MAP community?
Anyway, no, because this is your community.
They are
Obviously, this is obviously your community because we haven't even heard about that shit. Right, the Map Society. Do you want to
I'm
carry
a
on?
part of the LGBTQIA plus 2S,
Go
whatever
on
it is.
the map.
XX.
Go on the map.
Wait, what is wrong with these guys? What is wrong with you?
You tell me. You tell me. You're a man. Give us the insight into what this male mindset is.
This is what I like to classify as low testosterone, high ego men. They're not really men, they're boys, they've been cuddled too much. They never really evolved past the age of 12. That's why they behave so childish.
Look, I think she never got any Valentine's gifts. That's why she's going off on one.
Who's speaking? Is your name the Map Society?
Well, thank God it's not.
No, so shut up when a man is speaking.
But I'm not speaking to you.
Shut up. You're always speaking me. I'm speaking. So as I said, they don't have impulse control. They never evolved that skill. They've never been taught what impulse control is. They don't have basic comprehension and listening skills. That is what a man should have. They don't have it. Again, shows how much they have. Yeah, I'm disgusted with you guys. Ew, fucking hell.
I mean, what have you got a degree in geography, like, or something? Shut up.
This is, guys, I'm sure you're finding it in the chat as painful as we are here to hear this kind of low vibrational, low educated mindsets that is just so difficult to be around. Like, truly, to hear men or boys.
So what did you want then, for men to come on here and self-flagellate themselves?
The reason why we have this
answer the basic question.
So, one, please don't talk
What,
over
you want
me.
men just to self-flagellate
Please
themselves?
don't talk over me.
To
Please
you?
don't talk over me. I'm talking. See, isn't it interesting, guys? You let the Map Society speak very freely there. You let him say.
No,
No,
I didn't.
John Wick,
I didn't.
right, guys in the chat. Map Society was very poignant, very direct about the men here on the panel, saying that they were very immature, saying that they were very unevolved, all of those things, right? The man on the panel,
He doesn't know us,
you listen,
host.
you hear
That's
how
quite
the men
immature to
listen.
think that.
The men listened to him. The men listened to him be very direct in his criticism, and they didn't interrupt him. Exactly. Not once. But as soon as I ask a direct question of, how old are you? How do you know I've got a boyfriend? Suddenly it's like, interesting, isn't it?
Do that again. Do that again. I love that. Do that again.
Like, we're actually getting very tired, John Wick, because again, like, we want to have some kind of intelligent conversation. So we have had AJ so far. Nonsense. He was a bit, if you're still here, nonsense. You're a bit 50-50. The Map Society. Thank you so much. Kelza. And is actually misogynoir. Again, like, I can't say whether it was misogynoir or not, because they could have been talking to me as just a woman, because of course the conversation is just about men today. So if it was another woman saying it, I don't know. You could see it.
So is it not misandry then?
So, for God's sake, you don't even know what
Is it not misandry then?
Tyler Durden is on the panel as well. Tyler, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Fox?
I'm not bad. Please come and save.
Yeah, nah. Do you know what's funny? I just thought to myself, you obviously you've got a specific point to be made today, and they're kind of making it for you. A lot of these guests, they're kind of proving the point. It's insane. I mean, I think the saddest part about it, that because I've been listening in and out for a little bit, and it's just the levels of deflection. It's like, you're proving it by not addressing it, by going, well, what about women? And what about dogs? And what about green grass and blue grass? And it's like, seriously? Come on, man. Seriously? It's hilarious. I was actually finding it comedic. I kind of found it hilarious. So I hope you can see the funny side of it, because if we don't, boy, we're lost.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not a laughing matter, though, is it? These men walk amongst us. They're in our spaces of our fellow women, our sisters, our mothers. It's not a laughing matter. It's not to say that to diminish them to a comedic relief. It takes away the danger.
No. Nobody's doing that, my friend. What I was saying was the examples of men coming up on here and deflecting are very. Hold on. Let me finish. What I was saying was the examples of men that have been coming on here are embarrassing themselves by deflecting from a point that is very serious. And I find that funny, that the irony of coming up here, trying to make a point when you're actually proving every single point on that list. That's funny. The seriousness of it is not funny. Of course it's not. Men are dangerous. Absolutely.
Tyler, please give an example.
Say again?
Please give an example, Tyler.
Of what?
Of what
my
everyone
friend?
has proved on that list.
Any one of them. So men are dangerous.
Any one of them.
So have you heard of this thing? It's called war. Have you ever heard of war? Do you know?
Yeah,
Have you heard of
war,
that?
yeah.
You know, like when nations invade one another and like unalive thousands and millions of people, or empire, yeah, where ships of men went across the globe. 9 countries out of each 10 were invaded, colonized, raped, people unalived, resources stolen. Did that sound like non-dangerous
But
men?
that is. I wouldn't go that far either. I would say a Saturday night being a woman outside, that is more dangerous than going to war for a female, for a woman.
So say that again. I missed that. I didn't understand what you were saying. Say it again.
Going out, a Saturday night, going out on the city and walking home alone, and there's a man behind you, that is dangerous for a woman.
Yeah, of course it is, but that's another example. It's not doesn't take away the other.
Yeah, no,
examples
it's to highlight the danger, or that is at home, instead of talking about war and empire and all of this. Those we understand, those are dangerous, but right now
They all live in the same bracket, my friend. It's just different compartments of the same issue. So you can go systemic, you can go international, you can go individual, but they're all dangerous.
Have you ever witnessed a girl crossing the road and then a guy crossing after her, and then she crosses over again, and then you see the guy cross over again? Have you ever intervened in a situation like that?
Is that a direct question? Is that a direct question to me?
Yeah.
Of course, I've stepped into situations. That's the kind of person that I find myself to be. If I see something wrong or someone uncomfortable, of course I'd interject. But that's not the point I'm making here. If we're going to talk about individual,
men are dangerous.
Look at what the sentence says. It says men. It doesn't say a. It doesn't say a man. It doesn't say a man. It doesn't say one. Give me one example.
Tyler, if you saw a woman hitting a man, would you interject?
No. If I saw a woman hitting a man, would I interject? What would be the context? Why is she hitting him? Did he do something to be hit?
No. At the point you've walked past, all you're seeing is the woman hitting the man.
And again, I'd have to know the context, wouldn't I?
But what would you stop them and ask them what is the context?
If I felt it was a dangerous situation, I'd try and calm it down. Absolutely.
But if you saw a man hitting a woman, you would immediately interject, wouldn't you?
So in the same way.
Oh, you would stop the man and ask him what is the context?
I would interject and try and stop a violent situation from happening, irrespective of who the instigator is.
You're not a very good man, then, are you? Because you should drop that man on his ass.
Ask a question then to Beauty Sleep. Have you ever seen a man fight before?
Yes, many times, and I've been in those fights with a few of them. Yes.
Okay, then in comparison, how many fights with women have you seen?
How many fights? A man fighting a woman?
Exactly. Very long answer. So, yes.
A man fighting a woman, I've witnessed that once.
Once, exactly.
What? So are you asking me a man fighting a woman or a woman fighting a man?
The point is, Beauty Sleep, like Tyler has just asked you, in your experience and even in your own personal experience, you have yourself have been more involved in fights with men and have seen more fights with men. So in your masculine mind as well, you would probably have the same situation where you'll be like, that's men fighting, that's standard. You know, most of the time it's going to be the man that's at fault. So, but because there has been less fights that you've seen with women, maybe you would think in your mind, well, definitely you would, based by the example, that you would think, that's a very unique situation. I've not seen many women fighting men. So then I would start to think, what is the reason for that? Because
that's not what I said, host.
You don't have the evidence.
I didn't say that, host.
You have specifically said you don't have the evidence to show that women would be the ones to be instigated because you don't have the
You didn't listen to me, host.
I listened to you.
You didn't listen to me, the host.
I've listened to you.
No, you didn't. I said.
I will say it again so you understand. You said, Beauty Sleep, I've seen more men fight and I've been involved in fights. And you've said that you saw one
Yep.
woman fights.
He did.
That is statistics. Statistically, when you, in your own experience, will look at something, you would definitely think that more men are aggressive and angry than women.
You definitely didn't listen to one word I just said.
Well, it's funny because we both heard the same thing.
No, you didn't. No, obviously, you're obviously got miss of hearing as well, Tyler, because I actually said I've seen one fight where a man has hit a woman. You didn't let me finish what I was saying. I've actually seen multiple where a woman has hit a man. You actually completely reworded what I said.
Did you intervene?
Did I intervene in which scenario?
In either scenario.
In the one where the man was hitting the woman, I intervened. Where the woman was hitting the man, I did not intervene.
Why?
Because the same reason why Tyler wouldn't have intervened in the same way.
Wouldn't you consider you not intervening a woman hitting a man? Is that not misogynistic according to your logic?
Potentially.
So
Could be saying, obviously, well, the man can deal with it.
Why you do? You are downplaying the strength of the women then.
Why is that?
Because
Yeah.
you
How
say
I
the man
downplay
can
the strength
take
of
the
the woman?
women's punches.
1 minute, guys. Are you seeing the correction, Beauty Sleep? Tyler actually did say that he would intervene for both, and he did say that. We heard that. Tyler said he would intervene in the same way for both. So please listen.
And asked them what the context is. And he also said if he saw a man hitting a woman, he would intervene and ask what the context was. I'm sorry, in that situation, you're obviously quite a feminine man to not put that man on his ass.
Why wouldn't you intervene?
I'm so insulted by you, my dear. Oh my gosh.
Well,
oh my gosh.
If you're going to stand there and let a man hit a woman and not put him on his ass,
No.
I think
if
you are
a woman
quite
is
effeminate.
hitting a man, why wouldn't you intervene?
What?
If a woman is hitting a man, why wouldn't you intervene?
Because the man can take it. The man can suck it up.
Why?
Why would you intervene in that scenario? Would you intervene in
Isn't
that
that like
scenario?
the whole thing, your argument that it's misogynistic is against men?
Why would you intervene in that scenario? Honestly,
In this
don't be
scenario, would you
disingenuous.
intervene? Of course I would.
Don't be disingenuous.
Honestly, I don't even want to call you by the name that you're calling yourself because I don't like to call another grown man anything that starts with the word B for beauty. But let's not go there. Let me ask you a question.
Tyler, but that might be my
no.
pronoun,
Let me ask you a question. You've asked me several, so I'm asking
that's
you
my
one now.
pronoun,
I'm asking you one now. So
That's my pronouns. Don't offend me with my
You're
pronouns.
talking about being disingenuous. You're talking about being disingenuous. So let me ask you this. Are you seriously telling me in your experience in life, you've seen more fights with women fighting men than the other way around? Could you confirm that for this whole
In my
panel
own
now
life,
live,
I have
please?
seen women attacking men more than men attacking women. In my
What
own
town?
life,
What
yes.
town do you live in? Is it the Amazonians with Wonder Woman? Is that where you live?
No, because typically, especially in public, if a woman hits a man, nothing happens.
So
As we're all aware.
So
Because
did you ever
they've
go?
done-
Did
Tyler,
you ever go
Tyler,
clubbing?
obviously, I know you're a very articulate man, so I'm sure you're aware of all the studies that they have done regarding this.
If you were to talk about statistics,
Tyler, hold on. Please
Oh,
tell us.
so like public.
Hold on.
public
He's addressing me.
experiments where
He's
they have
addressing
filmed-
me. So let
No,
me
hold
address
on,
him.
ask
Tyler,
him to tell
have you not
us-
seen the public experiments where they have filmed this exact scenario in reverse multiple times? And guess what? People still
Can you
walk
cite
past
the
when this
studies,
man's being
though?
attacked, but they don't
you're
do it the
saying
other way
that
Cite
around.
the studies
Why
so
is
we
that?
can go and learn.
1 minute, everybody. 1 minute. Beauty Sleep. You're saying that your situation here, the things that you're saying, is because of an experiment, not because of actually things that you've seen. You've seen it in a study, which was actually a situation that was.
Why do you keep changing what I'm saying?
that's
I've
what you
seen
just
it,
said.
and
You
it's
just
also
said.
in an experiment. Why do you
In
keep
the
saying,
first
oh, well, you
meeting,
actually said
you
this,
seem-
you
you
meant
seem to
this?
be the
No, I
only
didn't.
person.
Listen to the words I'm saying. The words I'm saying is what I mean, host.
No, Beauty Sleep, you must be so special that you're the only person who's ever seen this, and the only person who's ever seen all of these violent women around. Wow, you're the only person. Thank you, Map Society. Thank you for being here.
I'm certainly not the only person.
Well, then who else? Who else?
Well, I'm just going to subjectively come out with who else have seen it.
Okay then. So tell us about perhaps some news
So,
stories.
hold on a minute, host. How
Let me
comes
ask you some questions.
domestic
Beauty
violence?
Sleep,
Hold on.
ask you some questions. Beauty Sleep. Beauty sleep. So give us some examples or any newspaper articles as well where you've seen.
I'll give you some
more.
examples. How comes DV is much higher in same-sex relationships, especially among those amongst the women? Look it up. Google it.
Do you know what's funny?
How comes DV is much higher in same-sex relationships, especially lesbians?
Fox,
look that up.
Fox, let me interject here. Seriously, statistically, statistically, mate, if you think you're gonna win in the contest between who is the highest on the list for domestic abuse,
yes, look it up
for rape, or any violent crime, full stop. You seriously think you've got a leg to stand on when it comes to women?
I said domestic violence, and I said look it up. Do you not think I wouldn't be spouting this unless I've looked at it?
I do, because I think you're disingenuous.
I'm disingenuous, considering that's what I called you earlier, buddy.
Beauty sleep. Okay, so the thing what we're trying to focus on here, right? And we are very aware that straight heterosexual relationships with men and women, and of course you must know the statistic, right? When football is on, when England win or lose, domestic violence in those households goes up with men. Okay, and
so what makes it go up with same-sex relationships then?
Saoirse is saying the study showed that the women now in same-sex relationships had been abused by men before. And other people are saying you need to read the full study, Beauty Sleep. Don't pick and choose what bits that you actually understand or misinterpret.
So you're just going to take their word for it then, yeah?
I will look it up myself as well. Continue.
Because part of what someone just said, part of what they just said is actually correct.
I will look
part of what they said was actually correct.
I will look it up myself, and I will also read what is on the screen. The things that
can I not also ask as well that aren't same-sex marriages? What's the percentage of those that are both men in that same-sex relationship as well? So that still stands to the test.
Yes,
of what
but
we're
as I
talking
said
about
to you, the female component of that is a higher percentage than the actual male component, which makes it interesting, doesn't it, sir?
What's your source? Give us your source.
You can literally look it up.
No.
Look
What's your
on
source?
Google, mate. It's all at the top of fucking Google.
Big claims require a
comments,
factual source.
Your
Otherwise,
in the comments are confirming the study exists. There are multiple studies that say this.
Yeah, I wonder where you found it from, because if you can't give us a source, I'm not just going to take your word for it, mate.
Well, I can go off. I'm sorry, I don't memorize all sources. This is a simple leftist argument. Then when I say a source, you're going to say it's biased.
Leftist.
You're going to say it's nonsense.
I was wondering how long it would be
Google
before I heard the word leftist come out.
Google is free, sir. You can Google it yourself, and you can look at the top sources that appear.
Listen. If you can't give a source, not hearing you.
I'm going to talk about this.
Yeah, I'm sure you can give sources for everything you've come out with, Tyler.
Okay. Let me read what I found. Is violence more common in same-sex relationships? Okay, this is a study back from 2014. Is there a more recent study that you've read, Beauty Sleep? More recent, because I've got 2014 here.
Domestic violence.
I said the year. Do you know what year you saw the study from?
It was quite a few months ago. I was reading it up, so it could have been at any time.
Okay, so the one I've got from 2014, it does say a study in the US suggests that same-sex relationships suffer higher levels of domestic violence than heterosexual ones. This is in the US, okay? So it has said that. However, it has said that the same-sex relationships are when two men are involved. So again, it's proving the point that men are the dangerous ones in heterosexual.
No. The study that I looked at specifically said that the female counterpart had a much higher percentage. It was something nearly 10% higher.
No.
And yes, part of that. Oh no, hold on. And part of that is what someone said in the comments is that they've also experienced domestic violence in the past
with men. With men.
And they're experiencing it in their current relationship.
Okay, Sleep.
Not with men.
Sleep, let me ask you a question, mate. Okay. So
it's quite funny that the ones that are saying that they experienced it in the past also experience it in the relationship that they're currently in. A little bit strange that.
Sleep, let me ask you a question. Are you saying then, it's because I feel like this is the point you're trying to make, are you saying that the real danger is women then? Is that what we should be discussing? Is that what you're saying?
I would say that most of the issues to do with our society going to pot is revolved around women, yes.
So
And
doesn't
I
that
would
make
say
you a weak
I
man,
would
though?
say
Beauty sleep.
wokeism has
Beauty
come
sleep.
from the
Doesn't
feminine
that
side.
make you a weak man then? If you're so afraid of women and you think that women are the problem in society, doesn't that make you a weak man?
I'm not afraid of women. I just don't think you guys should get a vote.
So that means you're afraid of women.
That there was a reason why you guys never used to get votes, and I think that should be brought
You're
up. That should be brought back up.
So you're afraid.
It should be one vote. It should be one vote per household, and women voting to basically endanger other women more. I think it's very, very dangerous because it's strong. It is strong men. It is strong men that have protected you in the past. Unfortunately, it is strong men that's going to fix the problem because women have invited many, many dangers. It's not men inviting these dangers into our lives. It is women inviting these dangers in. Because women like to be empathetic. Women like to be empathetic to their fellow man, just like the recent study suggests that 3/4 of women do not agree with free speech, but 3/4 of men do agree with free speech, which is quite strange.
This is what happens when people get their facts from Facebook. We're going to bring in Scott now because Scott has been waiting really patiently.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Shush, beauty sleep. Be quiet.
Prove me wrong.
Let Scott speak. Scott, go ahead, mate.
Turn.
Hello. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Let's see how this goes, Scott. What would you like to add?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'd like to start off and say that I think I don't understand why so many men are taking this as a direct attack on ourselves. It's just not. And personally, I do agree with all of those prompts. And directly sort of relating back to what Beauty said, I think you're finding studies and you've got no basis. You find one study, you have no understanding of study characteristics, conformity bias, any of those things, and you're taking a very small percentage and then saying this is factual. You know, like a study that was published in 1980, you can't say that that's relatable to now. And in my experience, actually, it is men that are way more aggressive. It's just, I've never seen female on female violence, and definitely not to the same caliber that I've seen male on female violence or male on male violence.
You see, again, guys, this is what happens when a man speaks. Men like Beauty can listen. Thank you, Scott.
Well, I'm just wondering if he's from Oxfordshire or something.
What's that got to do with anything? Diary of a Dad. I think
because it's a different caliber of female. Scott, where do you live?
Diary of a Mad Dad. Would you like to add your voice as well to the conversation, please? Diary.
Much appreciated. Looking at the points, I'd like to say that some men are dangerous, some men are insecure, and some men are emotionally weak, and some men aren't leaders. And sad to say it, but some men are scared of women. I'd like to think it's not the majority of men, and it's a small minority of us that think and feel and do these simple-minded things, in my opinion.
So who do you think has a better judgment on men, women?
Well, it would be, it would be probably women, I guess, because they live with us. They're raised in the same households as us. They grow us, in terms of that. So, yeah, I think women would have a lot of input into that, or a very big opinion in that. But, it goes both ways as well, because obviously we do think differently about different things. We do take things differently. So it's all about perspective as well. What makes a man dangerous, what makes a man insecure, all of those things come into play.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a reason why it doesn't say some men are dangerous, and there's a reason why it doesn't say all men are dangerous either. Do you have any thoughts as to why that would be?
Because I feel that's probably based on the experience, or that's probably the trigger point to, kind of get, people to get an opinion on that. It's clear that not all men are dangerous. Do all men have the capacity to be dangerous? Maybe, but so do women.
You're deflecting there, sorry. Should I say it again, what I said? I said there's a reason why the prompt says men are. There's a reason why it doesn't say some men or all men. So let me explain why it just says men are dangerous. Because if we say most men are dangerous, the good ones thinks that they're absolved of any accountability. Men think them being good means that they haven't physically touched a woman. It does not include their behavior towards women, the way that they disrespect them emotionally, mentally, all of those things. Men still think that they're good men because they haven't like punched them or unalived them, you know. So when we say all men, even though I haven't even said that, even though I say men are dangerous, the good ones actually start to question how good they actually are. And that's what's important. Does that make sense? Because you see that here, that even people who feel like they're good, they find this topic very difficult to talk about. They will call themselves a good man, but yet they talk over me, they disrespect me up on here in this panel, you know? So
that's because you're not a good woman.
But then
I've already told you, you're not as valuable as your grandmother.
You don't know her to make that judgment or to make that opinion. Just because she may disagree with your opinion, I disagree with your opinion, does that mean I'm not a good man? I think it's very disrespectful. And I think a good man speaks to a woman at all times with respect, regardless of whether she disagrees with him or not. I think a good man is emotionally able to take criticism, whether he likes it or not. You're balanced. That's what makes you a good person. I don't feel being aggressive or insulting people because they don't share the same opinion or views as you, you know, makes you masculine. It makes you weak.
So, Diary, if your partner is being abusive to you and just sitting there and obviously just abusing you non-stop, then should you just sit there and take it?
So are you saying that I'm being abusive to you, Beauty Sleep?
No, you're not my partner.
Then why would you feel like you had to judge my character then? And why did you feel like you had to say what you needed to say to me?
What, like that your grandmother is probably much more valuable than you?
You don't know me. You don't know my grandmother. Both of my grandfathers.
That's why I said most probably. You don't know me either.
Why do you? Why? So okay. So then let me say this to you then. Most definitely to you. Okay.
Well, there you go. Then you're just being a hypocrite, then, aren't you?
I'm going to say an equivalent to you and see how you handle this, because you see, when you said that to me, I just didn't say anything. I didn't react. Right? You saw that.
Well, right? I would like to know what I've done differently than my grandfather.
Did you hear Beauty Sleep? When you said what you said, did I react? Yes or no?
You don't like it, obviously.
Listen. Did I react to what you said, yes or no?
I don't know, and I don't particularly care either.
So, Diary of a Dad, let's, again, when I have to start talking slowly, it is very frustrating. So, Diary of a Dad Mad Dad has literally just said to you that even if you disagree with somebody, you shouldn't disrespect them. I don't believe that I've been actually very disrespectful to you at all. I've asked you to actually take your time and let other people speak on the panel because you have found that quite difficult. I feel like I've been very honest about your behaviour towards myself and to other panellists.
Because the length of time you speak for.
Because you're not able to just
It's the length of time.
Listen.
Excuse me. Okay, sorry. This is the host speaking. This is the host speaking. So we should be showing her the respect. And the reality is
it's called monologuing.
Please, men on the panel, please. Beauty Sleep. So let me say this to you, Beauty Sleep. So you said that my grandmother probably had more values than I do. What I'm going to say, Beauty Sleep, is that there's nobody in your circle, in your family, in your friendship group that would ever be able to actually uphold the standards of men. That's how I'm going to compare you, because I can't compare you to any of your family members, because clearly your bloodline and your lineage is a bunch of shit. That's what I'm going to say. It's true. There's nobody around you, related or unrelated, that would actually be better than you. Truly. And generally, the conversation is that men are dangerous. This is the conversation. So even in a wider circle, unfortunately, it does extend. So you're only limiting this to me and my grandmother. To be honest with you, that's quite a compliment. Thank you very much for that, because I could talk about your whole entire gender if I want to.
Yeah. Unlike yourself, my family and my ancestors have actually done something in this country, like start the police force. And if you really want to...
And now we're bored of you, so I'm dropping you now, because the conversation, we had John Wick, we've had some other people up on here, and it becomes very difficult for the mind to actually continue to engage with people who don't have the intelligence to actually discuss things on a higher level. We had Beauty Sleep up here for quite some time, and the conversation just ends up going round and round and round. But Tyler, there was some things that I wanted to
I want to zero in on something, because literally we've just seen it play out. and I think it's one of the what. Let me find it where it is on here. Men are scared. Yeah, men are scared of women. Now, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I want to add another word into that to add to another dynamic, to add to it, not to take away from it. Intelligent women. And I think what we just saw there was a prime example of it, because I peruse around lots of lives, and there's some fantastic, specifically Black intelligent women creators like yourself who I have a lot of time for, because I think your voices are unfortunately so prohibited in our society that it's a must that ladies like yourself do what you're doing. So I want to commend you for that. But I also want to reflect back on that as saying, I think that's where a lot of the fear comes from. It's the insecurity of, I'm not intelligent enough, so therefore I'm going to use my physicality or my disruptiveness to stop you from speaking. Because it was there, bare in our face. He listened to everybody else speak, and the moment you spoke, he had to interject. That's the issue. So for me, I think that specific sentence, I think if we zoom in on it, I think an intelligent woman, or just a confident woman even, is something that bothers them, and you could see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brown Eyed Cypriot Girl says the same thing. Beauty is scared of women, foreigners, colours, rainbows.
and then we go to all of the other ones, because we're talking about what's a response to all of those fears. When you're fearful, how do you respond? You become angry, you become defensive. And this is what ties into being dangerous, being insecure, because you're worried about all of these threats, these perceived threats. He wanted us to sit here and believe that women, sorry, I have to laugh, that women are more of a threat than men.
Wherever he lives, honestly, I would love to know where he lives, where the women.
Yeah, because he was asking.
They're so angry, and they're fighting like every day of the week. The funny thing is, right? I've seen one fight from women. I've seen fights of women. Of course I have, but of course I've seen more men. But I remember once I was out in probably East London somewhere, and I did see a big lesbian fight. And even we were all like, "Oh my God, we've never seen a big lesbian fight before." And we all ran away. Of course, I was with my gay friends, my gay guy friend. But again, it was one-time thing. So again, what makes Beauty Sleep so special that he seems to have the only experience of all this women's aggression and violence?
But what makes me laugh as well, because I used to go clubbing a lot, and the bouncers and the fights afterwards, and it's like I rarely saw girl fights or women fight. It just didn't. It just wasn't a thing. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but what I'm saying is to wildly distort that in your head and say actually it happens way more with women. It's just, come on, it's do you know what it is? I think there's a sadness in me when I hear someone like him speak, because it's so distorted in their own mind that they're willing to fabricate these falsehoods to back up an argument, to say no, it's not all men. And it's like, he asked me about men, I'm like, have you heard of war? Have you heard of Empire? It's like, what have you been watching, mate? I want to know where he lives. I really do.
Yeah. And it is very sad, isn't it? Like, I think and I said this on my live last week, that I think it's very embarrassing for men to say that women are an equal threat, or the fact that he kept deflecting to women. To me, that's a weak man. That's such a weak man. It's such a weak man. The fact that he's so threatened by the fact that we can put pen to paper and vote. Oh no!
Seriously, did he not say that he thinks women should not vote and that there should only be one vote per household?
Yeah.
What is going on, Fox? Seriously, what's going on?
Imagine being so afraid of women like that. Again, it's embarrassing. Like, that's why I said Beauty Sleep. You, your friends, your family, your grandfather, even the ones that have passed away long and gone, your bloodline is fucked. Truly.
Yes,
like that.
yes.
That is so.
When you said that, I couldn't help but laugh, because you know what? And also, I'll give you your props, because I wanted to answer for him. You didn't react. He said plenty of things that you could have reacted to, and you didn't. And again, impulse control, brother. You're showing your immaturity. Do you know what I mean? And this is to go back to your points, because we don't want to go off script. I think the fact that men and women develop differently, that young girls, become emotionally mature quicker than young boys. I think all of these things play into what we're talking about. This is the reality of what happens at the end of that spectrum. When you become an adult, this is why most men are ill-equipped when it comes to emotional maturity.
Absolutely. And I think what's really interesting is that a lot of the men that have come up so far today is, of course, when they hear a more intelligent man speaking, a man who actually can understand the subject matter, who's able to have a back and forth conversation with somebody of another gender, they still find it very difficult. But again, there was that misogyny still playing there, right? It was definitely
Absolutely.
I will listen to the man. I won't agree with him, but I'll still listen to what he's got to say.
Well, listen, what was his word? He said you were monologuing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's the host of this panel, so she's allowed to speak. And actually, his voice was the loudest of the bunch, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he kept talking over everybody, wanted to have his own voice, own me. And the funny thing is, the first man I think that came up in the chat section was talking about how women are narcissistic, and I was like, oh, that's a big word for you to learn, and what is, but again, he wouldn't come up and discuss it, and he wouldn't actually explain what the narcissism is. And you're right, Tyler, a lot of men these days seem to actually just have this like fake view of the world, and they want to believe this story and this lie that they're telling themselves because of their own weakness. They would rather paint a picture that's really not happening than address the reality of their own insecurity, their own emotional weakness, the fact that they aren't leaders, the fact that they're scared of women, the fact they've stopped evolving, the fact that they talk and don't listen. They would rather not address any of the prompts on the screen, but just attack and say that I'm not a good woman.
But you know what's funny about that as well, Fox? I think, because to add to what you're saying, I think ultimately what all of that fabrication does, like this world building, this fabrication around themselves, is just to avoid looking in the mirror. Is to just look at themselves and say, hold on, what makes me a man? Yeah. What might be my flaws? Yeah. What can I work better on? How can I improve? And rather than that, I'm going to find it's their fault. It's a women are narcissists. I mean, come on, man. Seriously? I'm surprised he spelled it correctly, to be honest with you.
It's so true. And like the funny thing is, I think that men, they don't even see how different conversations can be with men and women. Of course, me and you are up here talking. AJ was up here earlier, Map Society. We are able to have a back and forth conversation, to listen, to learn, to laugh. They're unable.
And unfortunately, going back to your point, this is why men are in those lines. Each line that you put, each point that you put there, that's the problem. Because even amongst ourselves, we're not having these types of discussions. We're not, or at least not enough, is what I should say. They're not happening enough to be open enough to say, what is it that we could be doing better as men? You know, what should we be doing? Do you know what I mean? Rather than who can we blame outside of ourselves? Because it's an easy trade-off. It's like there's a common denominator in the statistics, because the statistics he were coming out with, I thought, were fabricated nonsense. That's the problem with the internet. If you want to find a statistic to back up your ignorance, you'll find one. You're able to find one. That's why I said, give me a source. Give me a source, because he said about 6 or 7 different stats. All of them were questionable. All of them were questionable. And this is the thing. It's like if the hill you're going to die on is all nonsense facts that come from nowhere, from some idiot in their boxer shorts eating Cheetos. Come on, mate. Come on. It's madness.
Exactly. I find this conversation, like, honestly and truly, this has been and I'm honest, this panel today has been very difficult, guys, like very difficult for myself as a woman, trying to reel in the egos of several men at a time. Trying to make sure that they speak one-on-one has been very difficult, and they will still continue to say that they don't have a problem. Like really and truly, and I'm going to sleep very well tonight because it has been very energetically draining, this panel. Again, I will bring it up. The panel I had last week was all really beautiful. It was fantastic. Everybody was respectful. We talked one at a time. Great. This panel so far, good guys on here, and also guys who are absolutely diabolical to be expected. Diary, do you have anything else you want to add as well? Scott, as well, is there anything that you want to add? More things that you've learned today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are, more things that you want to say about the prompt as well?
Definitely. I'd like to say that it proves my point that it's definitely some men and not all.
You're really gonna go on that one,
I'm going there. I'm sorry, I'm going there. That guy proved it. He literally proved the point. You've got, maybe 4 other men on here who are all able to weigh. You got some parliamentary procedure going on, and then you have him. That is the issue. Not all men. Some.
Again, we don't do that. So I don't know if you were here. Did you hear that there are other men up here who were able to say men are dangerous? Did you hear those people?
Unfortunately not. But again, I don't disagree because like some men are. You can clearly see that, but it's not all. There are some men that are safe with children, safe with women. Respectful.
I explained the reason why it is men are dangerous. Like I explained that very clearly. And if you are of the higher emotional intelligence, you're able to say, actually, yeah, because statistics just shows very plainly and clearly that men are dangerous. Like that's it. That's it. That's the sentence. Men are dangerous. Yes, they are. In your mind, think, okay, well, some of them aren't. Like we also know that some of them aren't, but generally it has to be. And I haven't put all men here. And generally, if this was actually another live, I probably would say all men. I probably would have said all men, because again, it gets men to think on the next level. But as we've seen, men aren't able to actually understand that.
Be careful.
Some.
Go to the next level of that, and I'm pretty sure the live wouldn't have lasted more than 10 minutes. Like truly, it would not. It would already immediately have descended into chaos. It would be absolutely uncontrollable. So just saying it like this so far, men are dangerous, men are in school. We've managed to stumble through some kind of conversation.
Yeah. And Diary, sorry, brother, if I could just say something to you from a personal experience. I was once the person saying what you're saying. I was it's some. Yeah, I did say that at one point. And the epiphany I had was something that Muhammad Ali said when he was talking about racism. I think it might have been a Michael Parkinson interview. Forgive me, I might have got that wrong. And he was saying, you want me to trust, white society in a way that I'm going to allow everybody's not racist. And he said, if you flooded the studio with snakes and some of them were venomous and some of them weren't, how am I going to deal with that situation? Should I assume that they're all not venomous, or do I have to think otherwise? So if statistically, something is problematic, that's why that sentence doesn't bother me in the way that it would have done when I had that thinking. I was like, nah, man, I can't. It has to be some, because I viewed myself like, no, I'm not one of those dangerous men. But you know what? On a micro level, I don't know what my behavior has done to other women, how uncomfortable I may have made them feel. And I might excuse myself by saying, do you know what? Because I don't feel like I'm one of those, I can now say some. But I think I understand completely why she said it in the way she's written it. And I just wanted to say that to kind of back up what she's saying, if that makes sense, brother.
Yeah, no, I can I understand where you're coming from in that.
Thank you very much. I want to chime in because I'm a bit confused about the conversation, right? Because when you say you're a man, but you're confused about the talking points of men being castigated in a particular light, I'm trying to work it out. What are you? Are you gay? Are you transgender?
Virtue. By the way, guys, this is a new person here. We've got Virtue, and this is what they're firstly saying, is they're questioning somebody's sexuality. For me, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why somebody would do that, why they would feel like that is something that they needed to say to somebody. I don't know if this is some kind of projection, perhaps for yourself, Virtue, that you haven't addressed your own sexuality, because we haven't actually talked anything about sexuality here and how people, who they love and what they love. I don't feel like that is relevant. So I don't know why you would bring that up.
I disagree. I tend to look at things from a more balanced perspective,
No, you're
right?
looking at things
Because
from a perspective which makes you probably quite homophobic, or again, you have you're
not
questioning.
necessarily, because
Or
at the end of the
you
day,
are questioning your own sexuality. This is what you're doing because none of us here, and even me as a woman, has never said anything. No other men have also questioned anybody else's sexuality until you have come up here.
yeah, because that's my take,
Yeah.
that's my opinion, right? Because if you say to me I'm potentially gay, what
Who's talking about bloody who's gay it is? And no one said anything about gay.
now, because
That's
it sounds
not
like you
even
might be
fair.
projecting, right? You might be trying to insinuate just because I am suggesting that
And who
when
exactly?
you
Okay, who exactly are
engage,
you? Who exactly are you talking to when you say this?
I'm talking to the men on the panel, right?
All of them. So
Because
you think every man who's been up here so far is gay?
yes, correct, yeah. Because when you look at the topic and it's clearly targeting men, and then you try to filter out your connection to said group, you try to make yourself look like you're unique, when we can tell as real men from the way you speak, you're not really that guy, right? This is not what you do. You're just trying
Who
to
told you you
pander.
was a real man, Virtue? Who told you that?
I know because of my results, right? It's just normal life.
Results in what? The real man test. What is this test? What's the URL? Where can everybody take this real man test?
You can just tell. It's a sixth
Is
sense.
it
You
on
can just
BuzzFeed.com/real man test?
possibly you can
Possibly.
use
Okay.
whatever metric works for you. But
Okay.
at the end of the day,
You've made up your own test to determine that you are a real
yeah,
man.
because listen, I specialize in being able to analyze people, right?
I
But
don't think you're very good at that, but carry on.
when you speak, within 1 minute, I can gauge the type of person you are. What you've done is you've been able to enable men on this panel who are not real men, right? They are basically
Okay, Virtue,
pretenders.
the stage is yours to show us exactly, and you've got a lot of women in the comments here as well. So you show the women. So even if you think they're gay, this is not a conversation, it's not something that we should be discussing, but you, I'm sure, as a man, your judgment would come from women, or unless you only value the opinions of other straight men. I don't know who you're performing for right now, other women or perhaps other men, I don't know. But Virtue, you continue and you talk about how you're a real man and what makes you so different and what makes you so special.
All right, first things first, I don't need to perform. I'm not a circus monkey. But what I will say is I have the ability to discern, basically gauging human vibration, right? When it comes to talking, I can listen to a man speak, and that will indicate
My
who he
question was
is.
not about Virtue, it was not about other men or other women. I said about you as a real man. So don't compare to other people. Tell us about you and what makes you a real man and
I'm
why.
just very comfortable in my skin. I'm very accomplished in any endeavor that I am back on. And I'm just that guy when it needs to be what is required, right? So I'm very rounded, very balanced, very able to ascertain bullshit when it's needed. And I think the engagement so far, to me, sounds like a bunch of, again, you can call it what you want. But I don't
So
think that is,
Virtue, I've asked you specifically to talk about you as a person and what you do, but again, you've brought in other people into the conversation. So I can tell you about me, what makes me a woman. It
okay.
makes my strength, my tenacity, my ability to communicate correctly, my ability to actually discern things, my ability to be nurturing, to be caring, to be loving, to be patient, all of those things. I think that's what makes me a woman, what makes me determined to succeed in my goals, to be emotionally intelligent as well, and to be loving. I'm going to bring up animals for a minute, to actually love animals, because that is a very feminine energy. That's it. But it's not about other people. I'm not talking about other people in those things. I'm talking about my characteristics as a person. And then, of course, then other people can feel my characteristics. And of course, they can judge me accordingly. So you see how I didn't bring other people into that? Do you see?
All right, then that's your view. That's fine.
Yeah, that is my view. So, Virtue, is there anything else that you wanted to add in terms of you being a real man?
I think having an above average ability to protect, provide, secure, and be
How do you do
emotionally
that then?
intelligent.
Above average? Where are you getting these charts from to be above average? Where are you getting these metrics? Where do you get these metrics from?
The metrics comes from the national statistics, right? And that's just basically what it is.
Oh, this is on statista.com or something like that. The average man is able to do what? And then the above average man is able to do what? Like, explain as the above average man what you are able to do.
For example, I'm able to, it might sound a bit random, but I can sustain
Everything you've said so far has been
I can
random, but
sustain
carry
multiple
on.
I can sustain multiple women and families if I want to, right? Simply because I can. Right.
Could I interject here?
Yes, Scott.
So you kind of value yourself as being a male by this idea of being able to protect, yet initially you came straight on and went straight on the attack by implying that anybody who has an opposing opinion or maybe a slightly distorted version of what you believe is somehow homosexual.
To be
isn't exactly protecting anybody, and again, it's just another example of
just
men
to be clear, I did not
aggressively
attack
attacking
you.
other men.
I did not attack you. All I'm saying is, from the way you speak, I can tell you're not that guy, right? And that's just very simple.
You
It's an
said every
opinion.
man on this panel.
You don't need to be sensitive about it, but I'm just telling you that I don't think you could compete
He's
with
not
a man
being
like me.
sensitive. He was not being sensitive. He was actually talking to you directly. I feel it is you who was unable to actually address another man speaking to you directly. Carry on, Scott. Is there anything else you wanted to add as well? You're very right in your assessment.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to add that that wasn't in sort of a retort to me feeling attacked. Like, I don't feel attacked by someone calling me homosexual. Like, at the end of the day, that's no one else's business. I don't have my own business. But I'm perfectly happy to sit here and sort of call out bad behaviour and just, I guess, infrastructurally and generationally just poor upbringings of my fellow gender that believe that the only way that they can do anything positive is by attacking.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. And I think this has been a really interesting panel to see those who have come up here and attacked others and see the reflection of how people have responded in kind. When Virtue was saying all of those things to the men on the panel, none of the men here reacted to that. None of them reacted. So again, this is very positive for humanity. It is very positive for other women as well to see that men do have emotional regulation. And yeah, I think it's really good to see that. So yeah.
All right. So now I remember my bono contention.
One minute, Virtue, 1 minute, because Diary of a Mad Dad has got something to add.
Yeah, I always find it really odd when people assume what makes a real man or what a real man is. So I wanted to ask, does Virtue regard me as a real man? I've had my children from the age of 10 months and raised them on my own. I raise a family. I'm a multimillionaire. What point do I become a man? What point do I become responsible or viewed as a man in your eyes, Virtue?
I don't know if he's gone on teacup at the moment, so I don't know if he's got going on another thing. But it was quite interesting, I say, the metrics that he's chose to say what makes him hero. Oh, he's back. Are you back, Virtue? Did you hear the question from Diary of a Mad Dad, Virtue?
Yeah, I seem to be having random calls and people are telling me not to engage, that this is not the right platform to speak.
Was it one of your many wives, perhaps, that was actually calling, or the kids?
Might be, but I don't think I've done anything wrong, right? Yeah. My perspective is my perspective because I don't understand the rationale of grown-ass men joining a panel which castigates fellow men. And they want to present a narrative like they're so unique,
1 minute,
right?
Virtue. Diary asked you a question. Did you hear the question he asked you? Or no?
I'm pretty sure I missed the question. What's the question?
Diary, do you want to repeat that?
I said the question to you was, what would value make me a man? I've raised my daughters from the age of 10 months. I now have a new partner. I'm a multimillionaire. I live in a 5-bedroom house. I have several properties. At what point would I be a man to you?
You need to make more. You need to have a private jet. You need to have a house in the islands. You have to have multiple properties.
So you're
What you
saying that the
described to
majority
me,
of men on this
what you
planet
described
aren't
to me
men?
is up and coming, right?
So
That's
you're
not good enough.
Virtue,
You need to
Virtue,
work harder.
are your metrics, Virtue? The majority of men on this planet are not men.
Apart from Elon Musk, don't forget.
I mean, at the end of the day, you are who
Is that
you are,
true?
right? And you have to state your claim based on
Virtue,
your
yes or
word power.
no? Yes or no, Virtue? You know it's like only 1% of people generally, and then it's obviously 1% of men of that who are the people that you say. So you're
So
saying
why
that
can't you be the 1%?
Can you listen
Why
to
do
what I'm
you
saying, Virtue? You're saying the majority of men or people who identify as men are not men.
No, that's not my bone of contention, right? My
Okay.
issue is
Is it difficult
why
for
do
you to
you
understand what you
why do
said?
you dis
Virtue, let me ask you again. You said to be a real man, you need to have a private jet, you need to make more money, blah, 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 which is a very tiny percentage. So you're saying everybody else, every other man outside of that is not a real man, yes?
that's not my talking point, right?
That's what you
I
said,
did say
Virtue. So Virtue,
that's not what
do
I said.
you think that the inability to communicate also makes you a real man? Because you're not communicating very well and you're not able
Well,
to listen.
I did say I'm not an expert in this
And don't
social media
listen.
business,
Men also,
right?
I should have put on there as well that men actually don't listen to themselves either. Because what I've been doing a lot of the time here is repeating back to you what you say, and then you're like, no, I don't want to talk about
Not
that.
necessarily. What you're
I
trying to
came on
do
here
is
to
you're trying
debate
to
you,
mansplain
Fox.
my
I
words,
came
right?
on here genuinely to debate you,
We're not
but
the best
I'm completely
communicators.
wrong.
Hold on.
Say that, Diary.
I said I came on here to debate you and just give some hope for men that we're not all this way, but I'm completely wrong.
But you shouldn't be
Clearly
speaking
see.
because you're not the
Clearly
one to
see.
speak.
I think
For
Diary's
example,
learned
she's
see.
asking me a question. You're responding. You're not supposed to
You blame
respond.
me.
Have a bit of decorum.
You blame
It's
me.
called
I
social etiquette,
lose. I
right?
lose patience with lack
Your
of
name wasn't
intelligence.
called. She asked me a question. Why are you
No, I
responding?
actually asked Diary. I did say
All
Diary
right.
again.
Okay.
Like
Go
I
on.
just said,
Both of you go
Virtue.
on.
I said men also don't like to listen. I said men talk and don't listen, and they also don't listen to themselves. So you're demonstrating two of the points that I've made
What's the
now.
benefit
Because I
of
said
listening to you?
Diary.
Okay. All right. Let's have a
Diary.
balanced conversation. What's the benefit of listening to you based on your propaganda and your talking point
You
and
don't
this
have to
topic?
listen to me. You
What
don't
is the
have to.
benefit to men?
Virtue, you came up on my panel. You don't have to be here. Nobody forced you.
I came here to understand your mindset, right? Because
Why?
some of us are raising daughters. We want to know why we might have a
Lord have mercy.
preciously raised girl that might
Lord
end
have
up thinking
mercy
the way
on the
you do.
daughters. Lord have mercy on the daughters. Lord have mercy on the daughters. To have a father like you. Oh my God.
I'm only asking questions. It's very simple.
The questions you're asking, you do not want to know the answer. You're not able to actually understand the answers.
I don't believe you and your panel are capable of providing
So then,
mature
perhaps,
and
why don't you go to
effective
another?
answers.
Why don't you go to another panel then that tells you what you want to hear?
All right. Well, as long as you admit that you could not engage effectively, and I've clearly won when it comes to demonstrating that all of you are slightly perplexed. That's the case, no problem. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh my God. You see how insecure men can be when they feel like there has to be a competition, that they have to win things. There's like no prizes here.
I clearly live in a bubble. I've put myself around such a good group of men, and in general, I've clearly put myself in a bubble. As Tyler said before, it's just yeah.
And Diary, I want to
Oh,
big you up, brother, because and forgive me if I got this wrong, but did you say you raised your little ones from 10 months on your own?
yeah. 10 months to
Brother,
21.
listen, man, round of applause for that, because that's a huge and the success that you've had off the back of that, that's amazing, brother. So just wanted to big you up, man.
No, appreciate it.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
I mean, it feels like you're kind of quite a secure guy, so I'm sure the assessment from Virtue doesn't have
Oh,
any effect.
listen, no, it really doesn't. In all honesty, I'm not offended in any way. I just feel that again, he's just proving your points right, which is just look, we're not talking about people's sexuality or orientation or anything like that. It was clearly about the questions that were there, and he's clearly insecure about his orientation, and he's pushing that onto others, in terms of that. And I wish him well in his private jet. I wish him well in his private jet. I hope his daughters enjoy it. They're traveling that, and I generally wish him all the best. But if that's what it takes to be a real man, I don't agree. What takes a real man, in my humble opinion, is someone that respects others, someone that puts others before themselves, provides for their family, and tries to be, a positive member of their community. That's what makes a real man to me. It's not about how much you earn. It's not about, how big your car is or how big your house is. These things are attracted to the idiots. What makes a real man is someone that's turning up for his child, was turning up for his partner, and can be dependent on and respects his partner's views and respects their opinion as well as others. That's a real man. Honest, with integrity, for me.
Sorry, Dara, sorry to interject and cut you off there, brother. Just wanted to say thank you so much, Fox, for allowing me to come on, and thank you for making me learn something new every day. Unfortunately, I've got a run. I've got my placement to attend at my Oxbridge College. So, thank you, guys. Wish you all the best.
Thank you,
mate. Have a good one, Scott.
So yeah, thank you for your inputs and the things that you had to say. And I'm glad that you learned some things about your fellow man as well at the same time. And good luck at college. Right, we've got Harry up on the panel now. Harry, what do you want to add to the conversation? I'm sure you just new on I can't remember if you've just come by or you've seen...
I don't know. You added me, innit? You added me.
You're on the panel now. What would you want to add to the conversation?
I was just saying that you're hating on men. Do you have a Valentine's on Valentine's Day? Do you?
Guys, so
you spend an awful lot of time on TikTok hating on English people and men. So, do you have a Valentine?
And we had a little bit of an okay run in terms of like the intelligence and the questions that they're going to ask on here.
I mean,
Harry,
you added me, bro. I'm just saying,
so Harry, you see this here? This is written in English. It says men only panel today, and you're a man, so you're on the panel. So it says here, men are dangerous, men are insecure, men are emotionally weak, men aren't leaders, men are scared of women, men have stopped evolving, men talk and don't listen, prove me right or wrong. Can you actually answer any of the prompts on the screen? Are you able to do that?
I think you're insecure. I think you're emotionally weak.
Straight away. So can you answer about men? Don't bring me into the conversation or women. Just talk about men. You can talk about yourself. Don't bring anybody else into this. What can you talk about men? This is your gender. Tell us about men.
I mean, I don't really know. You added me. I don't really know what you want me to say. I disagree in it, but I think maybe you're projecting in terms of like you're saying I'm projecting, but you're kind of projecting your insecurities on other people all the time. Like you actually spend your whole day every day on fucking TikTok, bruv. Do you know what I mean? I just scroll through every day, and I always see you live or posting something or just chat shit about either English people or men. So maybe you're projecting. I just wanted you to think about that, basically.
What exactly would I be projecting?
Maybe you don't have anything better to do. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. Fuck knows.
Isn't it funny, Harry, that you seem to know
everything
what I'm doing? Why would you know everything about what I'm doing, Harry? Why would you?
Because you obviously I'm following you, innit? So obviously I see you on my For You.
Nice. Did you hear that? Harry follows me, but he thinks that I project. He thinks all these times.
You're acting like I'm on your fan club, bruv. I don't pay you money, fam.
Wow.
Allow yourself, bruv. I don't pay you money. Yeah.
Does that sound like healthy behavior, guys? Does that sound like healthy behavior? No, exactly. That's not.
Bro, you're on TikTok all day. What are you talking about, bro?
I'm not on
Tell
TikTok.
me about healthy behavior, bro.
Hermit Sapien is my.
And I always prove you wrong about your things.
Hermit Sapien. This is Beth, CHB18. These are my mods here. Also, anti-racist mum is here. Am I on TikTok every day?
Most days.
No. I maybe post nowadays once a day. And
that's every day. That's fucking literally every day.
I was on a panel about 2 days ago, but I do my live once a week, which of course you seem to be there every single time. And every time I join, or if I'm just scrolling, because, you know, there's not much things to do sometimes, because sometimes, guess what, as humans, we're not that busy sometimes.
I'm just having a look, and everyone's hating. Everyone who's hating is also a woman. It's all the women hating. It's all the single women hating, bruv. It's literally all the women.
Interesting.
Literally only. That's interesting.
How old are you,
That's
Harry?
interesting.
Harry,
I'm
how-
19. I'm
You're
19. And I do have a girlfriend, and I do have a Valentine, and I do have a life, by the
Oh,
way.
congratulations! I
Yeah,
literally.
congratulations, bro. Well done, man. Got a
So
life,
you
bro.
think, so does that make you a real man because you've got a girlfriend? Do you think?
Well, I mean, that's not what makes me a real man, but I would say I'm a real man, yeah.
How so? What makes you a real man?
Well, I can bench over 300 pounds, pussy. What you gonna say? You know what I mean?
Oh
Those
my
fucking
God.
man, bruv.
Oh my God! See, everyone's laughing at you, Harry. You see, everyone's laughing at.
Yeah. You have that
Everyone's
fucking.
laughing at you. Okay,
Yeah,
so you think
you can laugh in it. That's cool,
think
man.
being a real man is the fact that you can lift some weights.
Yeah, literally. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Where do you read from? Like, where do you guys get this information from? That is literally what makes.
Where do you get all your hatred information from? Is
Oh, can you answer a
propaganda.
direct question, Harry? Where do
Yeah.
you get the information that lifting weights makes you a man?
Well, men are strong, isn't it? Boost testosterone, which
No.
makes you more of a man.
Question
Yeah,
again.
testosterone's what makes you a man.
Harry,
So
the question again is, where did you get the information from that lifting weights makes you a man? Who
well,
told you? Where did
men
that
lift
come
weights. I'm a man. Does that make sense? Men lift weights, and I am a man, and I lift
from?
weights.
No, it's other men that probably told you that, right?
Well, maybe I don't know. What's your point?
No, I'm pretty sure it's not women who are saying this. I'm pretty sure it's other men who are saying this. So you clearly listen to other men about who you are, and you like to impress them, and you want to make sure that everything that you do. Because you come up to him and said, "I've got a girlfriend, guys. I've got a girlfriend that makes me a man, guys. I can lift weights. That makes me a man, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It makes me a man. I'm a man." And lady, you on the panel,
She sounds pressed,
got a
bro.
Valentine. You ain't got a Valentine. So, you know,
Oh,
ha,
my
ha, 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 ha. This is the difference between you, Harry, being 19 years old, because what happens is your frontal cortex is not developed yet, and you're very much on a very low,
She's so pressed. She's so pressed. She's so pressed. Oh, she can't, bro. She can't, bro. How old are you? I just want to know, how old are you?
You see, Harry, you were laughing by yourself there.
No, I'm with my brethren. We're both fucking laughing. I can't
So
lie.
there's two of you. Two of you. In a room of 45 people, two of you are laughing.
Well, I can't date anyone else in person, so. How old are you, by the way?
Nobody was laughing at you, Harry.
Okay, how old are you? How old are you?
Nobody was laughing with you.
That's okay, but you're still
The
pressed.
rest of us were laughing, Harry, because some stuff has actually been funny. But you came up here and you've made a joke that only you and your
But you
one
invited me. That I
You
didn't
and your
cut. You
one
invited me.
friend
That's the
is
difference.
laughing at.
It's
Sorry,
like
Fox,
it's
I'm
the
You don't
equivalent
have
of
completely
you
you
free.
don't
saying
have
this in your
the
room.
yet to
I
be
need to go back
embarrassed
to my
by that.
bubble.
What?
I'm gonna retreat. I need to go back to
Thank
my
you,
bubble.
Diary. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being
Thanks,
here.
guys.
Peace
Appreciate
out,
it.
Diary.
Nice
Thank you,
meeting you
Diary.
guys.
You
Thank
take
you.
it easy.
So
Take care.
Harry, I'm 42 years old. That is my age. I'm 43 this year. Anything?
Fairs, fucking hell, you think you'd have something better to do. That's mad still.
What do you mean?
I mean, you think you'd have like something better to do than just hate on. Because I look through your page, yeah, and all it is hatred and projection. So you can't tell me I'm projecting or
Can I
I'm a
ask
hateful.
what ethnicity you are, please?
Try and guess from my voice. What do I sound like?
You sound like perhaps you have a white mother and a black father.
No, I am white. I'm fully white.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Hmm. So then so if my content triggers you so much, why would you actually be watching it all the time?
It doesn't trigger me. I just find it funny. I just think
Clearly
it's.
it does, because you're here on the panel. You're
No,
always
you invited me. I was just
me.
looking through lives and I got an
And
invitation. I was
so
like, fuck it, bruv. I don't give a
because
fuck.
I invited you, you were like, you know what, I do need to actually accept her invite. You can say no.
I was like, fuck it, why not? I wanted to see what you had to say. Someone sends me a message, I
You
answer.
know
I
very
don't.
well, Harry, what I have to say because you follow me and you're on my page. So what more do you want to know, Harry? You've got all the information about me and what I do and the things that you think I feel. Know everything, Harry.
I will say I wanted to know what country, because I'm a Muslim, innit? What country do you live that's a Muslim country?
Oh, you're a white Muslim. Interesting. So why would you be so upset by my page?
What? No one said I'm upset by your page. What are you
Well,
talking
you
about?
are. You've said that I hate English people or England.
Yeah.
You should know everything about me that I've moved to a Muslim country. So I've actually moved to where there's more of your religious folk. So why would you be upset by my content, Harry?
I never said I was upset. I just wanted to know what country you
Ah,
live in.
you've
I
said
never
that.
said
I
anything
hate,
about
hate,
being
hate.
upset.
Harry, are you able to put your camera on?
Why?
It's a question. Are you able?
Would you want to see my skin or something like that?
Are you able to just put your camera on?
I'll show you my hand. I'm not showing my
I'm
face,
requesting.
brother.
I've invited you to turn your camera on, Harry.
If you want to see my face, you can go on my account. What do you want me to turn my camera on for?
You can just. Why don't you just turn your camera on real quick?
So what would you want me to turn my camera on for?
It's a yes or no question. Are you able to or no?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Wow.
But
Harry
would
answered a direct
but I'm
question.
saying, would you want me to?
Harry
Do you not
answered
believe I'm
other
white
than-
or something?
But now he's still talking. Now
Because
he's still
people do that all the time. They don't believe
So,
I'm white. They
Harry,
don't think I sound
Harry,
white.
again,
whatever that means.
let's go back, Harry, because this is a very difficult conversation.
Alright.
It says men are dangerous. Do you agree with this prompt, yes or no?
I think everyone's fucking dangerous.
So give us some examples of everyone being dangerous.
Well, anyone can be a threat, bruv. Anyone can
Oh, I
take
said give
advantage
us
of
some
something.
examples, not what you think and not your opinion. Give us some examples.
Example of what? Anyone being dangerous. Are we talking about men or women? Just men.
Let's see. It says men are dangerous. You said everyone's dangerous. And I said, give us some examples, which obviously means tell us about these other groups of people who are dangerous. Give us some.
Well, anyone could. What? So anyone else? Fucking well. Oh, you're saying like a woman can't kill someone, or a woman can't.
No,
I
don't
don't
give
even
me
know why I'm talking about this, bro.
hypotheticals.
I didn't even
Don't
come to
give
talk about
me
this, bro. I don't even care.
hypotheticals. Give me examples of things that have happened,
Well,
Harry.
someone killing someone. That's. Do you know what I mean?
Nice, isn't it?
Like I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what
Tyler,
you want.
I need to tag you in, Tyler.
Like, I don't know what you're. I don't know what you want me to say, bro.
So are you saying anybody can be dangerous? So can a toddler be dangerous?
Nah, okay. To a certain age, maybe, yeah.
And statistically, do you think that women are as dangerous as men if you compare them statistically in all crimes?
Well, put it this way, yeah. If you're in a society where men have more physical power and societal power, they're going to end up being more dangerous because whoever has more power is going to be more dangerous.
So then, I suppose in a way you're kind of agreeing with what she's saying then, because that means men are
Maybe in
dangerous.
some
and
way,
they're
but it's not
predominantly-
only men can be. Anyone can be dangerous. That's my point. But
Yeah, but obviously the panel is about men specifically. That's what we're talking about.
It's a very interesting day to just criticize men, and it's quite an interesting day for her to be.
Well, I don't
on
really
here
believe
talking
in
about
Valentine's
men.
anyway.
I hate men. We don't like men. We don't like English. We don't.
Okay,
You're
guys,
literally the
guys
most
in the
English
chat,
person,
guys in the
English
chat, and
sounding person I've ever met.
Tyler, yourself on the panel, has there ever been, so far in this conversation, has there been from me saying anything about hating men?
Not at all. And I will say it this way.
Bro, look what the panel says. Men are dangerous. Men are insecure.
Harry, this is the difference, yeah? There's self-hatred and there's self-analysis. And this is about men looking at themselves. And so there's no hate being involved. I'm not hating on men. I'm being honest about men. There's a big difference between those two differentials.
Well, it's like negative connotations, if you like.
We're allowed to be negative as humans. We're allowed to be critical of other
Well, being
humans.
negative about something is being hateful. So
No, it's not, Harry. Again, you're not able to understand the difference between hate and criticism. I suggest you actually go back.
okay, well then it's a
understand
funny
that
day
first
to
before
criticize.
you engage in
men.
further conversations, Harry.
Interesting term.
Because you seem to be stuck at the first step, Harry.
I'm not stuck at any step. I'm just
You're
fucking
stuck.
killing.
Not even on the first step. You're on the ground floor, sir. You're on the ground floor. You haven't even got into the elevator yet. You can't understand the difference between being hateful towards somebody or something and actually being very observant and critical. You're not able.
Okay. Are you finished ranting? Done? I know you're pissed. I can tell by your face. I know you're pissed. But yeah, fucking answer my question. Which country did you move to?
Hi, everybody.
Hmm? Yeah, I know. She probably still lives in England, bro.
Hi, guys. You okay?
Hi, Malik. How are you?
Hi, folks. I just wanted to say, first of all, great job, great work. Appreciate you for the work you do. Always watch your videos, love your videos, and the work you do is amazing.
Thank you.
You know, not many people have guts to
Malik, you're a
speak.
cuck, bro, and you're a fake Muslim, brother. Shut up, mate.
Bro, that's not you to decide because only Allah is to decide. I don't know who you are. I don't know
Okay,
you.
you're acting like a
With your
kafir,
voice,
brother. Acting like a kafir,
with
brother.
your voice. How am I kafir when appreciating somebody's work? Allah, what does Quran tell
You
you not to
appreciating
appreciate somebody's
hateful
work?
work. You're a kafir, brother.
Does Quran says to you that don't appreciate somebody's work?
Does the
Bring me
Quran
the
say
verse
to
of
hate?
Quran. Bring me verse of Quran which says that you cannot appreciate somebody's
What
work.
does the Quran say about gender rules, huh? What does it say about hating on people? What does it say about hating on people's cultures, bro? Their skin colors. What
I
does
never
Muhammad's
hated
speech say
anybody's culture.
about black against white
I
and
am
white on top of black?
congratulating
What
her
does it say
for
about that
standing
pussy?
up
Tell
to
me.
racism. Okay,
Well, read your
what does
Quran,
Quran
pussy.
say about racism? What did our Prophet last summon was? What was the Prophet last
Exactly,
summon?
brother. What's this woman spreading? Who's
So
racism, brother?
hang
You're
on.
supporting that, bro.
If she's standing up for the racism, if she's
Funny,
standing
bro.
up for the racism, then that's what I said. I
She's not
never said
standing
to
up
her
for
to hate
racism. She
people.
is the racism, bro. That's what you're not getting.
No, she's not the racism. How is she racism when
Because
she's
she's her
standing up
whole
for
page is
something?
about hating on
Because
English people, bro. It's about hating on
no,
white
it's not
people, bro.
because she's been treated like that. She's been treated like that. Well, you
So
know, amount of
what does
when
the
you read the
Quran say
comment,
about if someone treats
you read English, don't you? Don't you read the comments she get? Don't you read the hate she gets?
Yeah, why do you think? Because what
So
she's
what? Okay,
posting
so
is
what does
hate.
Islam? What
If you
does?
project
Okay,
hate,
you
you get
called me a
hate, bro. What does the
kafir.
Quran say
Okay,
about that,
what
brother?
you called me a? What does Islam says respecting women, right? And you just literally called her
Yeah, say
kafir.
respect
You on
men
a
as well,
panel.
bro. Look at
So
the page, bro.
what does Islam say? Give a woman respect. Doesn't Islam teach you that?
Yeah, if a
So you
woman
want
gives
me to
you
swear
respect,
at her?
brother, yeah,
You want me to
respect is given and
disrespect her?
earned, bruv. That's what the Quran teaches,
Well,
bro.
she is earning respect because she.
Funny guy, bruv.
He's gone. Thank you, Malik. Thank you so much for that. Really
Bro
interesting.
got hella triggered, fam.
I feel what's really interesting. As Malik came up here to compliment me, for some reason, Harry, you were offended by that. I don't know why you feel like you had to get involved or felt so triggered by the fact that I was being complimented.
No, I can't lie, my man got quite triggered.
Because the spotlight was off of you for a second there, Harry. Maybe.
Harry, can I ask you a question, brother?
Yeah, go on.
So, I mean, and this, I'm listening to what you're saying, and your opinion of Fox seems to be that she's racist.
Yeah,
She's
pretty
against
much.
English people, yeah. So why would you follow her? Why would you follow her? I don't
Just so I can
understand.
see all the shit that she talks about. Just so I can see how
That
jobless
makes no
she is,
sense to
bruv.
me, though, brother. If you're not for what she's talking about, why would you follow someone that you don't agree with?
Because it's funny to see her on live being jobless, bruv. Just saying stupid shit, getting triggered and that.
But that sounds to me like you're making assumptions. I can assure you, she's not jobless.
I mean, I see her in person.
But I just find it strange. I mean, maybe that's what entertains you, but I find it strange. I wouldn't engage with something that I disagree with.
Are you English? Are you English?
Yeah.
So what do you think of this woman then?
Reflecting from the situation, from what has actually been
I
said.
got dropped. I think my reception. But then again, if you want to go on Islam, my brother, you shouldn't be sitting on now Mahram's panel. She is not your wife. She's not your sister. She's not
You're
nothing.
on the panel as well.
No,
Shut
no
up,
related
brother.
to
Get
you.
the fuck off here, you dickhead, bro. What are you
There you
talking about,
go.
you spastic, bro? Shut up, bro.
Yeah.
But you're actually on a panel as well.
Harry's gone. Do not.
Yeah.
Do not use
Because
those kind of words.
you are going to teach me a deen. You need to learn deen yourself.
Yeah, that was a
Sorry,
really
sister.
terrible display there.
Sorry, my sister. I just read your thing.
Your
Look,
sig- your
again, there
signal,
is a
Malik.
problem.
Your
Look, there is a
signal,
problem
Malik.
with obviously society with man. But when it comes to we have.
Yeah, your sound keeps going in and out, Malik. I don't know if it's your battery or your whatever.
Sorry, guys. I think it's my reception. I think it's my Tesco's Wi-Fi not working. Apologies for that.
Okay, that's all right. I think you're all
Yeah,
right now.
but look, yeah, there is a problem with man's society, right? There's no denial. You know, there are men who think that women are just a garbage, or there are men who treat women disrespect. But when it comes to leadership, there are great leaders in the world as well, who are men. And
Malik,
I mean, at the end of the day, yes.
Malik, it's a
With
shame
the
because I
recent
really want to.
survey and recent what's going on around the world, it's sad to see the women don't feel safe.
Malik, your signal is really bad. It keeps cutting out, and you can see you're down to one bar. I would really, really love to hear what you have to say because I think you've got some really important things to say. But maybe try another day or when you've got better signal, because I think I might be wrapping up very soon. But yes, I think it's been very, very interesting so far today to actually hear the variations of men, right? And I think what was actually quite poignant at some point here was when Diary, he came up here and of course said, yes, some men are dangerous, some men are insecure, some men are emotionally weak, some men aren't leaders, some men are scared of women, some have stopped evolving, some men talk and don't listen. And by the end of that, he was like, shit. Men are a problem. It was like, actually,
You know what, Fox?
I will.
1 minute, Malik.
Yeah.
He realized that in his bubble, and I think a lot of actually men do feel like that way, that they've been so insular and actually been sort of judging the men around them, maybe also not with an entirely accurate perspective, I have to say, but when they actually see the reality of masculinity, and we're just talking about cisgendered men here generally, they've actually started to see what we see like every day in our lives. And there really is it's a testament to show just how different men are. Of course, Tyler here, you're always welcome on my panel. You have such great ability to discern between and actually talk to the men very truthfully and honestly about things. And also you've done your own self-reflection. And as you said, there were certain things that you were also triggered by, but then you've been able to go and actually grow on that. But remind me again how old you are? You're 30 something.
No, I'm in my 40s. I'm 47.
47. You sound younger. Do you know what it is? I think it is, again, this generation of emotionally intelligent men, emotionally intelligent women. We look a lot younger and sound a lot younger, but we've got the wisdom. We've got the wisdom.
But you know what, Fox? I think what you just said there, I think is what the win was from today, is that gentleman came in saying some, and by the end of it, he turned around, because that gentleman unfortunately showed him the example of what we're talking about. And I think it's proof that as men, we're not having these discussions with one another to find out that reality. I think we bypass this thought of like, because I'm well adjusted and maybe I'm emotionally mature, I'm going to place that on other men and assume that there are many more like me. But if you sat down with them and within 2 questions, because don't forget, half of these guys, I think one of the guys came on and said, I can listen to you for 1 minute and know who you are. And I was like, the joke is you're doing that for all of us, because you literally came up here and said we're all homosexuals because we could critique men. Yes, that's how you entered the conversation. You're literally... So, it's laughable, but to go back to the point, if we don't have these discussions, and this is why it's healthy, Fox, what you're doing, it's really healthy to ask us, to ask ourselves questions, because that's what you're doing. But and I would beg you, just for your own sanity and your own sleep tonight, keep it as just men. Don't put all, because trust me, you think that was bad. The levels that would get here would be even worse, because it's a trigger. It's a trigger. And because you're an intelligent black woman, they're not going to take that message from you well.
No, but the thing is, if I put all men up there, they would turn dangerous towards me.
Absolutely.
And that would be a problem. They would, so today they've already proved my point on some level. Clearly they've proved my point. But if I did that, and if I said all men, me as a black woman, it would not.
Can I ask that to you? Because I'd be interested, because obviously, how do you see us as men change in this situation? Because I think one thing I'll add to this as well, which is the Epstein files and everything that's been going on with that. I think if we didn't want to start looking at what men can actually be like, and one of yours is about world leaders, right? Or leaders, yeah. Some of these are men of prominence. These are world leaders, politicians, men in high positions of power. What do you think is going to help us change, other than what you're already trying to do? What's your perspective?
Men just need to take a step back. They need to do inner work. They need to do shadow work. They need to go to therapy. They need to accept that women have a place in the world, because a lot of them don't. You heard earlier, a man didn't even want us to have votes. Basic shit like that. You know, exactly. Lavinia says, we know exactly what men are capable of. But the thing is, men also do know what we are capable of, and they're very threatened by that. Again, it takes a certain amount of security in a man to actually allow women to step forward. And I hate using the word allow, because it essentially means that they have to give us permission. But unfortunately, we do live in a patriarchal society. So it does require men to step back and allow women to step forward. That's Definitely. It. That's the only way that it is going to work. It's the only way it's going to work. And it will only work as well. We've talked a little bit about personal relationships here, not too much. Interesting that the men up here were completely triggered, like, it's Valentine's Day, but they aren't with their girlfriends, clearly. Like, actually, they're here with me instead.
and Fox, let's add to that. He's in a car with another man on Valentine's Day, not with his girl.
It's true. Yeah, me and my bro, we're laughing together on Valentine's Day.
Oh man, but you know what? I agree with you wholeheartedly. One of the things that you said that stood out for me is therapy. I think that is such a window that men are so averse to. Predominantly, I know I'm not saying there are men that will do, but what I'm saying is I think they're so averse to the idea of self-reflection, and yet they caveat it by saying, oh, you know, because what the accusation was from that guy was you're pandering to women by criticizing men as if we're all in the same group, you know. And it's like, listen, just because we have the same biological parts doesn't mean me and you are the same. It doesn't mean we don't have to think the same. We don't see the world the same. So you're seeing it, and weirdly, this is the funny thing about these so-called guys that are calling themselves proper men. You're seeing yourself through the lens of a woman, because you're literally saying, to be a man, you got to be this way. I've got to have 6 women, and I've got to have this, and I've got to have that. I'm like, I've got to push weights. It's like, what?
Men. That's men's perspective. Because again, so remember earlier, so we were talking about the lady who seemed to be getting on well with the guy on Hinge, but then the guy went and showed the messages to the guys, his bros, and then they were the ones who were judging.
Wow.
And say, oh, do you know what? No. Oh, maybe you weren't here at this point, Tyler.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, let me tell the story again.
Please.
So I can't remember how this came up, but somebody said something, and I said, have you guys seen on TikTok, there was a girl who a guy had found, so it was on Hinge, right? So they were messaging on Hinge, and the guy had sent to her, oh, I've seen your TikTok. And she said, what do you think about it? And he said, yeah, it's interesting. But then the next day at like something 12 o'clock in the morning, like past midnight, he was like, yeah, I showed your TikTok to my guy friends and they weren't impressed.
Wow.
So it means that our conversation can't continue. So again, men performing for other men and in the eyes of other men. And then you have people like Virtue come up here and telling everyone else that they're gay. Like, please.
but Fox, didn't you find it interesting as well that Harry, I think his name was, that he disagreed with your ethos? He felt, and I know your content, so I know you're not one-dimensional at all, and I also think your stuff on racism and big up anti-racist mum as well, I think is some of the best stuff on the platform that I've seen. It's some really cool stuff. but again, I just find it strange that someone his age thinks it's cool to follow someone that you fundamentally disagree with or find as propaganda or whatever lens he was looking at it through. Don't you find that strange?
It's too strange. Like, I've been on social media actually for a long time, for probably 13, 14 years now. And I always found that people would, and actually Harry's not a unique situation for me. I found people who will constantly watch my stuff and dislike what I have to say. They will follow me. I have to block them for their own mental health. Truly.
Wow.
Yeah, there is something, of course, that always gets them to, like, my aura obviously is just so strong.
Fox, I could attest to that. You do have that aura. I'm not gonna lie.
But it is very weird. It is very weird, though, the fact that he would be so negative towards me, but feel like he had to keep tabs on me. Like, honestly, I feel like he probably spends more time with me than his imaginary girlfriend.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. But that also says to me, because and again, I think we should take it to that next level. I think that's an attraction in him. I think he's found something that you're appealing to in his nature. Yeah, just a polite way of saying it. But that also says something about his character, because if you don't believe in what she's saying, you're still willing to co-sign it. It's insane. And maybe that's a byproduct of the modern day use of social media. Maybe that's what it is.
Absolutely. And I'm not entirely convinced that was a full, Anglo-Saxon descendant.
Do you know what? Listen. My ear is trained, because I know my profile picture might say otherwise, but I'm a black brother. So when I'm looking at this brother and I'm listening to him, I'm like, that's a black brother. That's a black man.
Yeah.
Exactly. If he's not mixed, he's black. He's one or the other.
He sounded mixed to me, because, like, especially especially when you're in the UK, you're not as heavily colonized by that. And I think the US, like, there's definitely a lot more coconuts, right, in the US. So in the UK, that's why I said you've probably white man. At least if you say that you're black, which I don't believe you are, you definitely have a white mother, 100%.
And also, I think the way that he and this is a defense to say that he might be white. The fact that he saw your content on race and looked at it through that lens, again, like you said, he could be a coconut, but the other side of that could be a white person going, I don't like the way you speak about white people, because that whole thing about, well, white supremacy exists, and some of them are like, I don't believe in that. So it could be that too.
It is confusing. Chloe says he is white and red-haired, I swear. Well,
I looked at his profile. I did look at his profile. I saw an Ed Sheeran with muscles. So that's what I saw.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Like, really, again, and I think what I've definitely found is, as a black woman born and raised in Britain, in the UK, in England, colonizer county country, is that, of course, a lot of men struggle with their internalized racism. And of course, when they find women like me who are very appealing, it just fucks with their mind. It really fucks with them, because they've been taught that we are bad and we're the enemy. When they find themselves actually physically attracted to black women, it fucks with their head. And so that's why he's like, let me stalk her, but still act like a hater. Because they all eventually turn around and be like, do you know what, Fox, I was in love with you the whole time.
Do you know what? I think you've coined that perfectly, because to me, that's what the dynamic felt like. It's like, so if someone requests you don't have to accept, but you accepted. So it's like, you sound like a hater, but actually underneath, I think maybe you like somebody.
They do. And this is what happens when you're underdeveloped, you're emotionally immature. A lot of men, it's like when they say, oh, I really like that girl in the playground, but I pushed her over.
Yeah. Listen, but I'm old enough to remember them days. Kiss chase and all that rubbish. Yeah.
Exactly. And the funny thing is about that Harry person, it's coming to my mind because I remember, I was in a live, like maybe 4 or 5 days ago, in the comment section, right? In the comment section. And he messaged me being like, Fox, you're everywhere. He just wants attention. And he's actually just tried to request to come back up on the panel again. But we've spent enough time and used enough of our collective brain cells and our collective energy on the idiots already on this panel today. So he's not going to be allowed, obviously, to come up because he doesn't have anything to contribute. And him talking about, again, it's Valentine's Day, but he wants to spend more time with me. Why are you not with your imaginary girlfriend? Probably. Or your friend. Yeah.
Oh
Crazy.
my days.
Crazy times, crazy times. Oh, we've got Sir Boss. So, Sir Boss, you're going to be my last person today. Sir Boss, it's been some time. How are you?
What up, Sir Boss?
Greetings, greetings. What's this? Men are dangerous,
Yes.
insecure,
So maybe
emotionally
you've missed a
weak.
lot of the maybe you've missed a lot of the conversation and the things that we've seen today and the things that men have displayed. Today has been very interesting. It's been very insightful for the men in particular on how men behave. So yes, this is the topic today. Men are dangerous. Men are insecure. Men are emotionally weak. Men aren't leaders. Men are scared of women. Men have stopped evolving. Men talk and don't listen. Prove me right or wrong. Sir Boss, what would you like to add today?
Well, I would say a lot of men are dangerous and insecure and emotionally weak and are not leaders. Yeah, but there are a lot of men who are very emotionally stable and capable of leading. But in modern times now, men are being shamed for being masculine. They see it as, toxic masculinity is thrown around loosely, but people, don't know the four archetypes of toxic masculinity, right? They just say toxic masculinity, but what if you ask them the four archetypes of toxic masculinity, they couldn't tell you. But I could name them off the top of my head.
Toxic. I think maybe there is a misunderstanding about what the toxic part is. Nobody's shaming men for being masculine at all. It's the toxicity of it where men have asserted or gone over the boundary of what masculinity is, where it starts to harm other people. That's the toxic part. If you're masculinity, if you're confident, and if you're not insecure, all of those things makes you a real man. Like we've talked about being a real man earlier. A quote unquote real man came up here and said he was a real man because he had a private jet, and another one came up here and said because he could lift 300 pounds in weight. That made them feel bad, but it's not. It's not a
ask you
measure
a
of
question.
masculinity. And masculinity, I think where it gets lost is that actually masculinity is just an energy. And women have masculinity. We have feminine energy, we have masculine energy. And again, it is about balancing both of those energies within you so they actually work in cohesion. And again, as I said, if there is no negative effects or there's no toxicity within you as a person, other people won't masculinity.
Well, me personally, I don't believe that men and women are both masculine and femininity. And
This is science, Sir Boss. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy.
I personally don't have feminine energy. I have masculine energy. I don't believe in that. That
What do you mean?
I've had debates with that.
You don't believe? You don't know what chromosomes that you have.
I've had that debate in the past, and that came from ancient Egypt, which I am, very against that, saying that men have feminine energy and women have masculine energy. Yeah, I personally don't believe in that. Like if a man has feminine energy, something is wrong. If a woman has masculine energy, something is wrong, because a man operates better in his masculinity, in which a woman operates better in her femininity. If there is cross-contamination, then something is a bit off.
So, Boss, let me ask you something, Boss. So are you saying you don't believe in biological fact?
That's not a biological fact.
It is a biological fact.
That is Egyptian philosophy. Philosophy is not a fact. It's just philosophy.
Egyptian philosophy? Where are you getting
That's
that
Egyptian philosophy. Because I usually hear that from the Kemite community about, yes, we have masculine and feminine principle, which is ancient Egyptians got into a lot of paganism.
Sir Boss, do you have children, Sir Boss?
I have a son.
You have a son. So how do you treat your son? Do you not give him love? Do you not cuddle him? Do you not do any of those things?
I father him, I give him
What does that
advice, show him
mean?
positivity.
You don't have any physical connection to your son because he's another boy?
Yeah, I'll knock his face and say, "How you doing, son? You're right. Well done."
So you don't have any nurturing, loving parts about you?
I'll show my son love, because he's mine, he's my seed, so yeah, show him love.
So
Yeah,
the way you
I encourage
love is
him.
you just do that on his head. That's it.
I spend time with him, I encourage him, we talk, How was school? What happened at school?
So
Da, da,
yeah,
da, da,
people
da.
saying in the
Yeah.
chat, it's very sad. It's incredibly sad for you, for the coldness there. And this is one thing I find very sad, actually, generally about a lot of men, is that because they've become so afraid of feminine energy, it doesn't allow them to actually hug their children.
I do hug my son. I hug my
When
brother. Yeah.
you hug them,
Um,
do you tell them you love them?
yeah, my brother's birthday was the other day. He turned 33. I said, yeah, well done, bro. You're getting older.
Well
You
done.
know? Yeah.
You said, well, pat on the
But
back,
that,
bro. Well
but,
done. You
but,
aged another year. Congratulations.
but that doesn't make me feminine. I ain't got a feminine bone in my body. I don't believe in
Clearly
that.
you
That's just
haven't. Clearly
philosophy.
you haven't. But
No,
unfortunately,
no, I don't believe in that.
it
Mm-mm.
does seem that for some, and I don't want to go too deep into you as a person because I don't know you and I don't want to judge you. Okay, I don't want to do that. But I'm just talking generally about men. When they're not able to show things like basic human emotions like love, it means that probably they have been told by their parents or grandparents that showing love or showing emotions like that is feminine and it's what women do. But that's not right. That's literally not right. Like human behavior. My dad hugs me. My dad loves me. And I tell you something, he's a 75-year-old man. And it took him many years to be able to do that. Even in the Christmas cards and things he used to send, there will be no kisses, no love from, nothing like that. Because again, it was like, I can't show love. Like three daughters he's got, three girls. And only now he calls me up. He's like, me and my dad now are best friends. And we have so much love for each other. Yeah, honestly, it's like 360. Honestly, the thing, and I've told certain stories on the lives before about my relationship with my father, but I love my dad to pieces and my dad loves me. And it's such a beautiful thing now where it does make me cry sometimes because there was so much coldness from him before where he used to be just like pat on the back, like, yeah, well done, daughter. Well done.
Not to go too deep into it, but was there an epiphany? Was there something that changed him, do you think?
Yeah. I've said it before, but I don't get too much into it. But he had very a triggering situation that happened to him, and
Right.
I've said this on lives before, where a lot of men need something bad to happen to them in order for them to open up and feel love and to be loved and actually understand that this life we live is very short.
Yeah.
And so you should actually evolve and go beyond what your parents or your grandparents or what society has told you what a man should be. Like it's 2026.
So what would you define as an insecure man? If I don't ask that question if I can't remember.
Yeah, of course. An insecure man is somebody that actually doesn't embrace femininity. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Like, if you can't embrace things like love and good energies that actually come with femininity. So let me just tell you some things that actually are traditionally what feminine energy can bring, right? So feminine energy is actually by the characteristics. So being a man, or not even being a man, but again, it's energy. Masculine energy is all about logic and action, determination. Yeah, it's more of a doing thing, whereas feminine energy is more passive, it's more receiving. Let me get some traits about what that would be. So I'd say it's more nurturing, it's more loving. It's actually creativity as well. So if you're a creative person, that's actually you tapping into feminine energy as well. You're intuitive, you're receptive, you're empathetic, you're compassionate, you're pleasure filled, you're just say passionate, you're magnetic, and this is where your sensuality and sexuality comes in as well. And you have compassion. If you've got more feminine energy, you have the ability to actually see the world in a bigger picture. It's not just about yourself, because what happens, we all have ego, but if you have too much masculine energy, work in the ego just ends up taking over. And this is why we live in a dangerous world now, because men have not been able to actually help their ego in a good way.
Can I say something?
Waste enough of their feminine energy and brought that ego down.
Can I say something?
Of course.
To say that men are insecure because they don't embrace their femininity, I think that's a manipulation tactic women like to use.
It's not femininity. So I think let's be clear on what the language is. It's not femininity. It's feminine energy. You associate femininity with actual women and how women present, or feminine presenting men. That's femininity and how we carry ourselves, how we present ourselves. That's not the same as feminine energy. It's not the same.
Huge difference.
I just explained what all the traits are of feminine energy, and I can tell you what.
Right, but then
a wounded feminine energy is people who are too yielding or they're victimized, and insecurity lies in wounded feminine energy. If you don't have if you have very poor boundaries, or you're very needy as a person, you're desperate, you don't trust yourself, you're manipulative, you're attention seeking, that is wounded feminine energy. Nothing to do with women. That's just feminine energy.
okay then. Yeah, I think people like to use that men are insecure because they don't embrace their feminine energy. Yeah, because society is trying to make men softer, and masculinity is something toxic, and men should
No,
open
just
up more. And
explained masculinity is not toxic.
Let me ask you a question, Sir Boss.
no, I'm just
Sorry,
saying.
Fox. Sir Boss, let me
I'm
ask
just
you a
saying
question,
what
brother.
their
Let me
gender.
ask you a question. So one of the feminine energy traits was creativity. So do you think that's feminine to be creative?
No, no.
So that's what she's saying to you. She's telling you clearly that it's not, because I think what we're conflating is the idea of what you think gender means as far as a woman on a visual perspective, how she walks, how the nails getting painted and things of that nature. Whereas what we're saying is this is energy based. This is things within a person. So your psychological elements, and those can lean towards feminine. And I'm a creative. Bob Marley was a creative. Yeah, and that means they're dealing with their feminine energy, but that doesn't mean
That's
they're
not
being
feminine energy.
no, listen, but they're not being
Creativity
effeminate.
is not feminine
They're not being
energy
effeminate.
because
That's the difference.
yeah, the reason why I don't agree that creativity is associated with feminine energy, because women are out there, not out there building society. Men are out there building society. We're building bridges, planes.
Okay.
We're
I'm sorry.
innovating
Let me
things to make
interject on
life
this
easier.
one. Sabas, let me
Yeah.
ask you one simple question. What is the biggest creation of all creation?
What's the biggest creation? Life.
And who holds that within them?
Men.
No.
You
So
know,
like,
you lied then.
Men.
You know.
you're 8 months pregnant, Sabas? Are you 8 months pregnant right now?
Well, a woman can't get pregnant without the man. You need,
No,
you
but
need seed from the
who
soil.
who nurtures, develops, and has that child grown inside of their body for 9 months, Sabas?
The woman.
So therefore, who's the source of that creation?
The man.
No.
The man carries the seed.
Are you religious?
Yes.
Well,
Well,
doesn't your Bible tell you?
not
What does the Bible tell you about that?
not religious
Do you
in the
pick and
sense of
choose? You pick and choose the
no, no,
path that you resonate with, and not. You don't believe that women are the creators of life.
no, men are the creators of life because men are seed carriers.
Okay, so somebody has a question in the chat. Neon Guts, good to see you as always. She asks, is cooking feminine? That's what she wants to know. Sir Boss, do you think cooking is a feminine thing?
Cooking is a life skill. We all need to cook. We all need to eat. Yeah. But however, I appreciate when a woman cooks for me because it shows, reciprocation and appreciation. So yeah, get in the kitchen and cook for me as I would cook for you to show my appreciation for you.
Interesting. Okay, so are there any other points on the prompt that you want to discuss? Because you've said some. Don't believe in
Men are
energy people.
It's ancient Egyptian. You see, because the ancient Egyptians got up to a lot of paganism. Nah, I can't take anything I can't take them seriously.
That's fine.
It makes me cringe when people
what else
quote
have you
things
got to
from
say
ancient
about
Egypt.
That's fine. What else have you got to say about the men are dangerous, men are insecure? The reason why these words are there. Why would you think that this is the conversation today?
We live in a society these days where mental health is a thing, and gone are the days where men
Mental
used
health
to
is
be
a thing.
stoic
I mean,
and
mental health issues. We've all got mental
yeah,
health.
yeah,
Our mental health can have issues.
yeah. But then a lot of men are becoming dangerous because of these factors. Because
Becoming?
there's no
What do you
other
mean
out.
becoming? What do you mean becoming?
Yeah, I'm seeing men just crash out which sometimes rightfully so. In certain situations, they do have the right to crash out, but this was never a thing growing up. I've never seen men crash out to the certain extent men are crashing out today on,
Interesting. So,
from
Servos,
0
how
to
old are you
100.
now? How old are you?
40.
You're
40.
40. And in your 40 years, you've only just started seeing angry men like this year, this week, 2 years? You've never
Like,
seen an angry man before.
Over the years, because I grew up in the 90s, never really saw a man, like put hands on a woman or no, like, but
Have you
nowadays
ever
it's
been in
more
a fight
prevalent.
before?
Like,
You ever been in a fight before?
I used to box.
Interesting. What about your friends?
My friends, what about them?
Do they get into fights? Were they in boxing as well?
No, they're more into music, DJing.
Okay. So what would be the reason why men are boxing?
Self-defense, aggression,
Against who? From
violence.
who? From who? Who are men trying to protect themselves from?
Other men.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have some men who are barbarians, they'll put their hands on anyone, whether it be male or female.
Yes, exactly. Because men are dangerous.
Some men are dangerous, not all men.
If some men were dangerous and you weren't that bothered by it, you wouldn't be going to boxing.
Well, it's a matter of
If you
competition.
believed it was some and you believed it was not that big a deal, you personally would not be boxing. Because there are plenty of other sports that you could choose from to get fit. But
Okay.
you said, the first thing you said was self-defense. You as a man want to defend yourself against other men because men are dangerous.
Some men, but the context of me taking part in boxing was, to test my might against the other man to see who had the better skills, who had the better speed, agility, ring generalship. It was in a controlled environment. Even though it was violence, it was in a controlled environment where there were rules, there were referees, rounds were carefully timed,
Did you
and
hear that,
in the
guys?
end there was a winner,
Controlled
and we shook
violence.
hands.
Again, Sir Boss is trying to say that some men aren't violent, but he just said out of his own mouth, controlled violence.
Competition.
No, you said
Men are
controlled
competitive.
violence. If you want to have competition, why don't you do the
Absolutely.
bloody three-legged race or egg and spoon race or hurdles?
Yeah, because the
Jump.
dark side of masculinity is violence and aggression. So yeah,
So you
I'm
agree
gonna
that
face
is
that man.
that's toxic masculinity right there, what you're describing.
It's a dark side of masculinity. I mean, femininity has a dark side to it as well. But it takes a
which is
special
what I
man to
just.
know the
Well,
dark side of femininity.
hold on. You've just admitted that there is a dark side of masculinity and a dark side of femininity. Energy. You're talking exactly what I've said. Exactly what I've said. So you do agree. There is a dark side, which I've explained to you what the wounded feminine energy is. And you're talking about the wounded masculine energy, Sir Boss. You're talking about wounded masculines, what they do. For some reason, it's just the terminology, I think, which is not clicking. Because you're making the same points that I'm making, but you just don't understand it from my perspective. Because I'm hearing what you're saying, which is the same as me.
I think you're looking at it from a female lens.
No,
if you
I'm
look at it
looking
from a masculine lens.
from a very neutral lens. Last week, maybe you weren't here in the conversation. I talked very clearly about women. It was a women's panel last week. I talked about our struggles. I talked about the things that we struggle with. I talked about the toxicity also that lives. We talked very much about the toxic feminism. We talked about that. Me, I'm a
So
very.
let me ask you a question.
But of course, I'm very intelligent, which I think a lot of you men struggle with.
Most men are not intimidated by intelligence. Men are
Most
intelligent
men.
too.
Yeah.
Most men are intelligent too. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. What's the dark side to femininity?
You see what happens, guys? If somebody makes me laugh so much in a joke, which is actually just like me laughing at them, I start joking. I don't know why that is. Anyways, but we're going to bring in Sidozi Arms. Are you a man? Because this is it's the men's panel.
Hey, I'm a man to the born as a man.
Okay.
Man.
Okay, good. So, what would you like to add to the conversation today? Maybe you've heard some parts. Obviously, you've just had the conversation between Sir Boss and I. Tyler with his giggles there in the background as well. So, Sidozi Arms, what would you like to add? Oh, Sid Zoe, sorry.
I would say it's true and false at the same time, because at the same time there's good apples and bad apples. But the same thing applies with women. There are good women and bad women, good men and bad
Can
men.
you talk about the prompt without talking about women?
Okay, men are dangerous, yes, because a wounded man can, if a man is quick to anger, a man who is patient can take out the whole city. So a man has to control themselves. A man has to be aware. A man has to know himself and know what his purpose is. But if a man don't know that and don't have purpose, that's when they become dangerous. That's when a man can, if a man is not happy with his life, he will take it out on the weakest vessel, which is a woman. So he will take it on a woman. So at the end of the day, the women are not being protected. But if a man is in divine masculinity, he'll protect his women. It's in us. When we get money, what's our first thing to do? Protect the ones we love, our children, our wives, our mothers. So it's in us, men, to protect who we love. But the thing is, nowadays, a lot of men are being raised by single mothers. So they're taking the nature of their mother without male guidance. So at the end of the day, they're angry. I know, you can disagree.
Yeah,
but
you see me screw out my face.
Yes, I've seen you, but that's just facts. Because if you go prison, you're gonna see that the stats, a lot of men who are in prison, they're coming from single mother households. If you're talking about stats, so with that, there are a lot of men who are not in jail, but they're out here. So those are in jail, but some are not in jail. So the ones who are not.
Explain the ones that come from two-parent households that still end up in jail. What's the reason? If the man is there, why is he still in prison?
Anything can happen. The president of Venezuela is in prison. What can you say about that? Anyone can go prison. That's what you have to know. But then I'm saying
So then what relevance is the single parent statistics? If
the
anybody
relevance is if a woman cannot raise a man. Only a man can show a man to be a man. So if a man is not being shown how to be a man, and he's being shown how to be a man by a woman we know the emotion.
Generally though, Sid Zoe, we live in a very dangerous world full of dangerous men, where men have been raised by fathers, very dangerous fathers, in ways that involve physical violence, mental abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, spiritual abuse, all of these things. So if majority of men, let's just say, because I don't know the statistic, if the majority of men are raising their sons, why is the world still so dangerous?
Okay, so I'll tell you this. Those men who are raising the men, you have to know that they're coming from somewhere. They were children too. They've been through the same system, trauma and everything. So if a father is not healed and he's raising a child, whooping them, doing all this abuse, and that father is not aware about parenting or how to properly raise the children, so he's going to pass on those trauma to his children. So what I'm trying to communicate is a man has to be in his purpose and aware in his divine masculinity to properly know what to do. So you can come from two-parent household, but if your father is not aware, but if your father don't know what to do, he might be a great father, provider and everything, but he lacks emotional intelligence. So he cannot pass that to his offspring. So at the end of the day, you're going to see, but his father was there. His mother was there. How did he end up this way? Because he wasn't properly tamed to do that. That's why a man has to be in his element, naturally, the strongest rule on the weakest. And when I said that point, it's not to downgrade women, because as men, we love our women, and it's our duty in nature to protect our women. Men don't
So
just
then what's the reason then that women are generally less violent?
because women are less violent. Because why would they? Why would they? That's why a woman weapon is the mouth. That's why their words are sharper, harsh. You know, when you hear them, they'll cut you deep. But us, our power is physical. We're more stronger. We're this. That's why certain men, when they cannot control himself, he reside in physical, because that's how he thinks he'll do it. But if a man knows himself, no matter how a woman pushed him, he will remove himself to calm down, or he will remove himself to control the situation, because he knows that the woman, she's just saying that because she's hurt, and he knows that the woman cannot be him. But the only way a woman can use is to talk to him to the point that he reached to that point.
So Mina in the chat has got a good comment to make. She says, can't men figure out how to be emotionally mature on their own when they're older though? So of course, if they don't have a father figure, because some people obviously have varying circumstances, which means that they don't have a father figure, what is stopping them from actually maturing by themselves?
That's no issue. A man can always, when he's growing up, he understands and he's more aware of himself. A lot of men, they go through that.
No.
Not all.
If we just decide, right, that there's 50% of men that have fathers and 50% of men that don't have fathers, there is still a significant amount of percentage of men in those that are very dangerous. Everybody knows this, right? So what is stopping them in their own evolution as a human being to do the work to actually be on the right side of humanity? What stops them?
So that one, I can say it's not general, because it can depend on the person. For example,
No, I said, what stops them from doing it? So we're talking about one person, okay? If you're struggling to understand, think about one person. What would be a reason that would stop them from actually evolving and becoming more compatible with humanity? What would be some reasons you could think of?
personally, I would say the life in general, economy can be that, pressures of life can be that too. For example, if a man, I would say, for example, man is thinking, oh, I need to be here by this time and be here by this time, but it's not working. He has to provide. So the pressure of providing or taking care of this can prevent the man to become who he wants to become. Or maybe looked down upon, or poverty. There are a lot of factors. But then what I'm saying is, it depends on the person, because some men can find themselves in those same exact situation and make good decisions, while others, they cannot. So friends is one of the things. When men are surrounded by friends who cannot tell them what's the right thing, so you cannot expect that man to change. So he needs to be.
So you see during this conversation, right, the very first thing you said was you brought up women, and you said some men are dangerous and some women are, you tried to make them very equal. But during this conversation, you've also said, well, why would women be dangerous? And you've questioned why women would be the same. And you've also admitted that there is a very big gap between the genders. I want you to make sure that you know that you said that, right? And we've talked a lot more in depth about men who have fathers and men who don't have fathers. But the overall situation is, of course, still the same thing, still the same reason. If a man doesn't have a job, he becomes very emotionally insecure. As you know, living in the patriarchy and what other men have made men to feel, that if you don't have money, you're not worth very much. The guys have come up here beforehand, have said, well, if I'm a man, I have to have a jet and I have to lift really heavy weights. That's what makes me a man.
That's not a man.
This is what they've said, but this is the thing, because there are so many different conversations about what a man is, you men are confused about
Only
what
those who don't know are confused.
You're confused about what a man should be. And there was one man earlier who actually did put it down very, very good, and it was Diary of a Mad Dad, right? He said specifically what makes a man, his qualities, his ability to raise his children, to support his wife, to be a respected member of community, all these things he actually said, which again, as we're trying to talk about, is if you have healed masculinity and you're a good man, then everybody is very compatible with you and who you are as a person. You don't make people feel like threatened by your presence, and you're not insecure, and you're not trying to dictate to how everybody else should live, and the boxes that you try to put people in as well, because we've had people up here trying to put me into a box, trying to label me, saying all kinds of stuff about the men on the panel as well. You know, there are some things that you have said, Sinzoe, that have been very accurate in my opinion, and people in the chat will also agree. But there's other things as well where I think that have been very lost in the conversation of what a man is supposed to be, not what he should be in terms of the patriarchy and what other men have said, but what is actually good for humanity. I think there's been a little bit of confusion there, I have to say. But I am going to wrap up the panel now, and I am going to wrap up the conversation. So thank you so much, everybody. Max Power, I've seen that you want to request up, but it has been like almost 3 hours now today, so I am gonna wrap up. And thank you, everybody, for everybody who was coming. Thank you, Taishi. Thank you, Hermit Sapien. This is Beth, anti-racist mum. Also here, my wonderful mod, CHB18. Was also here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tyler, for keeping me a bit sane on it, because I was really, that was something.
We do exist. We do.
Yeah. We've had a few decent guys who come up, but generally, for those of you who are here from the very beginning and saw through, you saw that it was very painful. A lot of it was very, very painful, and gentlemen like you, Tyler, and Scott obviously said some really good things, and AJ said some great things in the beginning, and we had Diary of a Mad Dad said some great things as well. But everybody else, you literally failed the exam. Like, really, it's a massive failure. 0 out of 10. You ungraded grade, really. And I really hope that men actually do a lot more research and actually start to listen instead of talk, because they're so in this mindset, which is man is this, man shouldn't be anything else, and it is an old program. You look at the way the world is and tell me that the masculinity that you grew up with is compatible and is working. Really, like, can you honestly say to yourself the way that masculinity is in the world and how it affects you and the people around you, that it doesn't need changing?
Yeah, come on now.
And I would just add, you know, I don't know about people who are religious, but I'd say the true, if you are religious and you see Jesus, you're gonna see he portray what masculinity is. He take care of the children, the poor, he heal the sick, you know, he's more into the community, more gentle, more kind.
Interesting, it's feminine energy you're talking about. Interesting.
No,
Interesting.
that's not even not feminine.
Energy.
It is.
Those are characters. Kindness is not feminine. Being
It is
good is not
loving and
feminine.
nurturing. It is feminine energy.
So what do you want men to be then? Men are telling you, okay, we can't be this. Then if
I
men want to
never
be
said
kind,
no.
they're
This
feminine.
is again, like, I'll wrap it because I need to go. But we've said feminine energy is not being a woman. It is your traits that live within you that you must nurture, that you must grow, you must do the work to make
So,
sure.
folks, are you telling me kindness is feminine?
Yes.
No, nurturing is as well. Nurturing.
Yes.
No. Kindness is not feminine. Caring is not feminine. If you care something, it means you put effort into it. If I care about my studies, I'll put more effort into studying so that I'll do good. If I care about my children, I'll put more effort into making sure that my children are taken care of. So
Well
those
done,
characters are not
That's your feminine
feminine.
energy working really great. Thank you so much. Excellent. Your feminine energy is working really great in those aspects. I really hope that you look more into feminine energy to make sure that more of it is working as it should. Right, guys,
No,
I'm
I'm a
finished.
gentleman.
I'd like to say goodbye
That's
to
feminine.
everybody. You see, my energy now is depleted.
Understandably.
My battery is empty. The guys really took it out of me today. And guys in the chat, you'll be interested to know that Harry has requested to come up several times during this conversation. I've been tapping the screen. No. He has still wanted to come up. Interesting. Thank you, Hugh. Just you exhausted for me. Yeah. It's definitely been an interesting one. But yes, as always, guys, I download the lives and I do put them on my YouTube channel. So please go watch back on YouTube. I also re-put my videos as well that I do on my page. I post them to YouTube. I'm also posting on Upscrolled as well. Thank you so much. I hope you guys can follow me there too, because here is where I just do the lives and then of course I post like whenever I can do. So thank you so much for compliments, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Again, Lavinia, CHB18, Hermit Sapien, this is Beth. Thank you so much. Anti-Racist Mum, thank you so much. Mina as well, always good to see you here. Thank you. Taishi as well, good to see you here. Thank you so much. Neon Guts as well, always good to see you. You always have great comments as well down there. Yeah, it definitely was something. And again, Tyler, thank you so much for being up here and being on here for so long as well.
My pleasure.
So it was a really great live, actually. I did enjoy it, even though it was emotionally taxing.
Listen, you deserve an award. Go and take a well-earned rest and forget about all of the troubles now. Yeah.
I will, but until I'm back on again tomorrow, though. So I am doing my co-host tomorrow for you guys who follow Ems and know what we do in our co-host. So this is about the Black community and the South Asian community, and we have a lot of topics. So tomorrow, actually, interesting enough, is about feminism.
Oh,
yeah,
I'll check it out.
It'll be good to have you up again, Tyler. So yeah, tomorrow, same time tomorrow, Lavinia. So it's 3 p.m. GMT. Yes, again, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. For those of you who are celebrating with a significant other, for those of you who are celebrating Galentine's, or for those of you who are just wanting to spread some love into your world and neighbors, it's a day for love for everybody. So everybody have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you same time tomorrow.
Happy Valentine's. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.